All right, how you guys doing out there in social media world, YouTube world, man? Be getting into this real quick. This is a bit of an information that I've had for quite some time, but haven't made a video on it. Didn't know how to really put it down, but I'm just gonna do it like I do the rest of the videos, straight from the motherfucking dome. We got a guy right here that we're talking about, Jojo Diaz. He's signed to Moses Arabia. Him and Moses got some things going on. And it looks like Matchroom, not Matchroom Boxing, but Golden Boy Promotions and MT Global is in on the mix with this. Um, Let me see here. I got a message from somebody. Look like they've been messing up. Um, but all this is speculation. Um, until everything is decided. I haven't looked at the court case in a minute, but right now I have some snippets of the court documents. I didn't want to put the court documents all the way out there because guys, people's phone numbers and business addresses and stuff like that, and I didn't want to. I don't want to put people's business out there on Front Street. But let's talk about a little bit about Joseph Diaz. Joseph Diaz, he's 31-1. First defeat that he received was by way of Gary Russell Jr. by unanimous motherfucker decision. Jojo Diaz comes into this fight overweight by more than 3 pounds, according to the rules. They was not going to allow this guy to get in the ring, and they was not going to allow him to compete at the weight provided because he was 3 pounds more than overweight, and there was some rehydration and hydration concerns with that. Safety first, so he went to a decision with Rokumov the other day, and this is the second time that Joseph Diaz has lost a belt by way of the scale. Now, when we go in here, we're going to go into the first what you want to I don't know what you want to call it a snippet, or you want to call it a well, we're just gonna call it a screenshot here. I'm gonna put the link in the chat just in case anybody wants to get on. So from here, it's from Mr. Heredia. I'm not good with names. That's who is Jojo Diaz's manager. He's Joe. So let's read it. This firm has been retained by manager Moses Heredia in relations. Ronald thinking what's happening to a dispute between Mr. Heredia and boxer Joseph Diaz Jr. pursuant to California Business and Professional Code. We're gonna skip that. It is our belief the commission goals of ensuring the integrity of the sport of boxing and the interest of the general public and the participating boxers and managers in California make this dispute an important one for arbitration in California. So basically, Moses Heredia is assigned to. I'm sorry, Jojo Diaz is assigned to Moses Heredia. Moses Heredia gets 18% from Jojo Diaz's purses and stuff like that. And when we read into it from this one, two, three, fourth paragraph, Mr. Heredia has difficulty represented to the interest of Mr. Diaz many years, including dealing with oftentimes difficult relationship negotiations with Golden Boy Promotions to maximize Mr. Diaz earnings and help Mr. Diaz each Rock Sportsman Lee was happening. Mr. Diaz reached the principle of boxing success. This has been accomplished despite many personal life transgressions by Mr. Diaz that Mr. Heredia has attempted to help Mr. Diaz cure. It appears that now that Mr. Diaz has attained his world title, he has chosen to circumvent the manager fighter relationship and enter into a different contractual relationship with the third party. Bonanza MXBC, the Wilder Beatdown anniversary. We talking about something completely different, so you got to go. I'm not gonna play with. I'm not gonna. Matter of fact, I'm just gonna hide your races. Matter of fact, let's take a screenshot of this first. I already hit you on the channel, but we definitely gonna take a screenshot of this trash. Throwing bananas and stuff like that at people right now. I don't know where this is, man. Just leave me out of the bullshit, okay? Now let's get back into it, ladies and gentlemen. Bruce Groves, what's happening, baby? So let's get back into it. Where was I at before this bitch came on? Okay, it appears that now that Mr. Diaz has attained his world title, he has chosen to circumvent the manager-fighter relationship and enter into a different contractual relationship with a third party. For reasons including but not limited to the foregoing, we kindly ask that you accept this request for arbitration and inform us of earliest date available. Please contact me if you need any further information regarding this matter. Now, this document had enclosures. This document had enclosures. It had, I think it had a 2-page enclosure. Yeah, I mean, I don't know why they come on here, man. I don't know where they find me at and stuff like that. So this is one of two parts of the enclosure, which is Moses Herenia's declaration to the California State Athletic Commission. Mr. Moses Heredia is Jojo Diaz's manager. And basically what happened was Matchroom Boxing, I'm sorry. Golden Boy was fucking up the church's money by not doing right by Moses Heredia and Joseph Diaz. MTK Global came around, gave allegedly Joseph Diaz a $100,000 signing bonus. The outlaw pugilist was happening. So they gave according to Moses Heredia, which is Jojo Diaz's manager, MTK Global gave Jojo Diaz $100K signing bonus. Mr. Heredia, in turn, told them to cut that shit out. It's torturous interference. Also, basically, Jojo Diaz went on Twitter and said that he signed with Matchroom Boxing and fucked some shit up. So he eventually took that down. But let's go into, I'm the duly licensed manager, professional boxer of Joseph Diaz Jr., manager, fighter, contract, blah, blah, whoop, whoop, whoop. Since his professional debut in 2012, Mr. Diaz has benefited tremendously. There's that goddamn Floyd Mayweather word right there, tremendously. From my and my entire family's tireless and devoted dedication in advancing his professional boxing career. We have made tremendous accomplishments despite a contentious and conflicting relationship with Mr. Diaz, promoter Golden Boy Promotions, and Mr. Diaz repeated poor judgment and misdeeds in his professional life that have potentially compromised his future. On August 12th, 2020, a public announcement was made by, I'm over here paraphrasing a little bit, made by Mr. Diaz signed a contract with MTK Global, a foreign company that proclaims themselves to be the world's foremost boxing manager company and claims to manage over 300 plus boxers. They quote the website. Mr. Diaz has privately and publicly confirmed the signing with MTK Global. So as we see right there, they said that he said this and said that. I see you up in there, Ronald Flinkley. Ronald Flinkley said, MXBC, now you know why I don't fuck with you. Yeah, you see how they came in here real quick and threw a banana in the chicken bone real quick emoji. Yeah, they could have kept that shit where it was. I really don't care. That is some racial shit right there, man. He didn't even waste time to see what I was talking about. He just said Wilder's anniversary of his beatdown. I don't know what today is. Then it goes on to say Mr. Diaz communication and negotiations with MTK Global were done in secrecy and completely unbeknownst to me. His signing with MTK Global is a direct violation of manager-fighter agreement and the sole and exclusive rights granted to me as a manager. Mr. Diaz has not responded to any communications from me since the MTK Global signing. When my attorney contacted MTK Global CEO Bob Yellen I just think I'm pronouncing his name right, regarding their torturous interference with my contractual relationship with Mr. Diaz. We were informed that Mr. Diaz has retained his own attorney in this matter, and dispute exists with respect to Mr. Diaz's intentions to honor the manager-fighter agreement. I hereby request that California State Athletic Commission exercise its jurisdiction and authority to regulate all boxing contracts entered into California and schedule an arbitration in this matter. I also request that the California State Athletic Commission exercise its duty and authority to protect its stakeholders from being taken advantage of by outside parties. Investigate the actions of Mr. Diaz, MTK Global, and any other third party in this matter. Mr. Diaz is an immature and irresponsible young man with a history of vices and indiscretions that I have led to very poor decisions and actions in the past. I have done everything I possibly could to help Mr. Diaz focus on his promising boxing career and deal with his personal demons that caused him to make poor decisions and gamble his future away. I strongly believe Mr. Diaz continues to spiral out of control in this personal financial life and has made an illegal, ill-advised, and ill-influenced decision for the wrong reasons. So the manager at this point is going all in. He's going all in on his own motherfucking fighter, right? Because he's been done wrong. And what else are you supposed to do? Then it goes to say that Mr. Diaz may not be in the proper mental fucking state. It didn't say that. I put the fucking in there. To make rational decisions at this time, and that his recent decisions regarding the future of his boxing career were influenced by his premeditated plan to violate the manager-fighter agreement. I declare, sir, under penalty of perjury, under the law of the state of California, that the above declaration is true and correct to my knowledge and belief, dated August 20th, 2020, signed Moses Heredia. I believe I'm pronouncing his name wrong. So, this is not the first time we've seen a manager, promoter, or fighter throw one of their peoples under the bus, whether or not they is willingly or unwillingly did so. I believe actually right now, when it pertains to this case right now, Jojo Diaz is about to get the fuck to him. From last thing I read, he signed the contract with Moses Heredia. I've seen the contract. I'm not going to post it. Actually, I might end up posting it. Fuck it. If I can figure out what internet browser to use and log on to my email, so I can show you guys that I'm not bullshitting. But yeah, this guy, he entered the contract with Moses Heredia. I think his contract is all the way until like maybe 2023, I believe. I thought I had it on this computer. Obviously, I motherfucking don't. I believe it's all the way into 2020, 23. Obviously, we all seen that he lost his. We saw some bit of an immaturity on his part when he failed to make weight. He made excuses on why he didn't make weight. He said shit like hotel accommodations was poor and this and the third. They in the bubble, and all this other jazz and shit like that. But you know what? At the end of the day, there's no telling what his weight was leading up to this fight. There's no telling him, you know what I'm saying? He could have been a lot heavier than 10 pounds. Because he said there wasn't a sauna. He said that there wasn't He said there wasn't a sauna. The gym was limited. Basically he just gave a bunch of excuses. But why he wasn't prepared. He had ample time to prepare for this fight. But obviously at the end of the day, as far as we can see, Like, let's just keep it real. Everybody say the same thing about Tank Davis when he doesn't make weight. People want to hit on the maturity thing, right? So, but what was all these videos, all these big videos, all these multi-view videos when it comes to this guy and Jojo Diaz, and then not only on that, what was the videos about the matchroom boxing situation? You know what I'm saying? Where was that at? You know? So the contract is until February 22nd, 2022. That's when the contract gives up. They signed this agreement back in February 23rd of 2017. So that makes sense the day before. So yeah, they signed this contract, and it wasn't a bad contract, 18%. You know what I'm saying? We hear about a lot of people. Oh, what's up, Ronald?
Yo, I'm just listening, bro. That's an interesting article you're talking about. I'm just listening.
Oh, this is
I
not an
didn't know.
article. Oh, this is not an
What is it?
article. No,
What is it?
nah. See, if this is an article, everybody would, you're hearing this first. This is from a
Yeah.
court case that I pulled up.
Okay.
Yeah, this is not an article. This is from a court case I pulled up. This is basically giving you a little something on I'm not gonna show that part, but I show this part. I show this part so y'all know that I'm not playing. I could show this one, but I'm not gonna show the
Is it
meat and
before the
potatoes.
Tevin Farmer fight or after?
Say it again.
Is it before the Tevin Farmer fight or after?
This is I think it's after that.
Okay.
I believe it's after that. But I'm gonna show you this snippet right here. This is the dude's I mean, I put his business out there, but it ain't showing how much money he's making. So, this is indeed shows everybody and their mama that who Joseph Diaz's promoter is. No matter what outside entity is trying to come up in here and circumvent the system, or whatever the case may be, his manager is Moses Heredia, and that's until 2022 February. You know what I'm saying? So this guy thought he was gonna take a bag from MTK Global, $100,000 from MTK Global, and go around up over here and fight oh boy without his promoter. Fight Ruckmanoff without his promoter, without his manager.
Yeah, Rachmaninoff was tall as shit, yo. That was a good fight.
Yeah, but this is what I'm saying though. You thought that you was gonna. It doesn't matter whether or not you thought you was gonna leave your promoter in the dust, or that your promoter was just supposed to just take this. You still supposed to run your business through your manager before you even done a deal with the outside party. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he didn't do that. And what happened is that's why throughout the course of the fight, you don't really hear anything about MTK Global, did you?
No.
See? But that's what the whole thing with this fight was. They was gonna snatch MTK Global, was gonna pay the bag, and then take a cut because they allegedly gave Joseph Diaz an upfront what you call that shit, 100K. So they was gonna slide him. So they was gonna take that money back from him. You know what I'm saying? Like they should. But what I'm saying is, at the end of the day, here we go again. We got a manager. We got conflict between the fight team, within the fight team, and then we got another common denominator, two common denominators, which is Golden Boy Promotions giving the fuck to somebody, and MTK Global.
Yo, so you saying he only got paid $100,000 for that fight?
No, MTK Global gave Joseph Diaz 100K upfront signing bonus.
Oh, so that's where the conflict of interest come in at?
No, that's where the torturous interference comes in, because he wasn't supposed to take nothing or go into negotiations with anybody without the approval and consent of his manager.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just listening, bro. I'm just trying to figure it out what you're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, because if you go and listen to my past videos, I made a video. I made a video. I'm gonna say last month in regards to this, and basically it detailed um another well, what's basically this is part of the same lawsuit um that Moses Heredia is having with Golden Boy Promotions. So if you go back and listen to my video, I have a video. It says Daniel Kinningham of MTK Global / Golden Boy sued racketeering and torturous interference. So basically, Moses Heredia, who is Joseph Diaz's promoter, is
Mhm.
suing MTK Global, Golden Boy, and Daniel Kinningham, and a Paul D. Gibson, right?
Wow. Yeah.
And in the article, it goes into details of because you know racketeering, you know what that is, right?
Um.
That's
You know
RICO.
what? I forgot. I
That's
forgot.
RICO. Lee Law and Services. What's happening? If you want me to repeat some stuff, just let me know.
Rico
Um,
Law? You mean like
yeah.
what?
So in America, not only can the government go after somebody for RICO charges, but actually individuals can sue people for under the RICO law. And so Moses Heredia, which is Joseph Diaz's manager, has actually sued MTK Global, Daniel Kinningham, and the Gibson guy under this RICO thing, under RICO charges.
Really?
Yeah. And in the lawsuit, if you go and listen to my video, it's called Daniel Kinningham of MTK Global. That's just the beginning of it. It goes into detail of, it doesn't go into detail, but it accuses Daniel Kinningham of having a drug enterprise, killing people and stuff like that, and some of the events that he had where people end up dying, people getting extorted and stuff like that. And in that lawsuit, it alleges a lot of things on the KOCJ, money laundering. So basically, one of the things it says racketeering activity is an act that violates certain statutes. Then it goes into say drug trafficking and money laundering and are both listed under whatever U.S. code received or obtained money ethical directory or indirectly from drug trafficking and money laundering through its association with Mr. Kinningham. Mr. Kinningham continues to arrange boxing matches that involve MTK Global fighters. These matches are steeped in money obtained from drug trafficking and money laundering. MTK Global then uses the money to attend to bring in more fighters and arrange more fights so that more drug trafficking proceeds can be laundered through what appears to be a legitimate business. I'm not making this up. This is in the lawsuit because if you think about it, right?
Yeah.
A lot of the times when you know, we all knew that we all know that if somebody's going to let's just say Edward Hearn, for instance, right?
Yeah.
Edward Hearn had a lot of fights when it comes to Anthony. Remember the first time you ever heard of Anthony Joshua selling out a fight within 5 minutes or within a minute?
Well, yeah, that was I think that was the what's his name? The Martin fight. What's his
Yeah,
name? Yeah, I
yeah.
think
I
that's
think
what
that was
I
the
first
first one. I
remember.
think that was the first one that
That's
sold
what
out,
I
right?
first remember. That's when I first remember Anthony Joshua. Like him like selling he bought the belt from them people because he fought the weakest link. So Martin was the weakest link, like, and he got that belt. So that's when I first heard of Anthony Joshua selling out a fight.
LFL player, what's happening, homeboy? Well, LFL player, I think they kind of is. I think they kind of is because Golden Boy Promotions, they could be the scout agency, or fuck other people's shit up and so they could sign, get people to get fighters to get away from the manager they got right now and the promoter they got right now and get them up over there. So that can happen. But like like we were saying with that, so who has so in order for a fight to sell out, its tickets within a minute or whatever the case may be, that's like $15-20 million.
Yep.
So where's that
Easy.
money come?
If you
So
could sell them out, like didn't Eddie Hearns like buy the tickets and then he resold them or
I
something?
don't know, but it sold out within a minute or five or a minute or 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, or whatever the case may be. But what I'm hitting at is that if you was where is that money coming from? You see what I'm saying?
Evidently, it's coming from somebody who got a lot of money.
And where's it exactly? So now, when you think about it, is that money coming from all the same source, or is it coming from different shell companies, or is they giving people to make sure they go out there and buy these tickets real quick? But guess what? All those tickets ended up on the secondary market. So now you're going to tell me that Ticketmaster is in on the gig, or another entity is in on the gig. So it doesn't matter how you Black Star Sports. What's happening? He said, "I would, bro. At work now. Had to step by and rep my brother. Thanks for stopping by, though, man. I appreciate that." The Outlaw Pizza just said, check your Twitter messages. All right, hold up. So, but that's what I'm saying is, it doesn't make any sense to me. Yeah, I just texted, man. You just said okay. That just doesn't make any sense to me. And now you got, I'm not saying that Daniel was in on that job to buy all those tickets, but what I'm saying is that's how you money launder. You know what I'm saying? You spend money, or you get people up in here to spend money, and then in turn, what you do, you wash the motherfucking money. But what I'm saying is, with this is, it doesn't make any, like, let me tell y'all something. There's only been one article out here talking about what I'm talking about right now, but ain't nobody out here has ever questioned, besides me, the relationship between Moses Heredia, Joseph Diaz, MT Global, and Go to Boy Promotions. Nobody. Yeah. Everybody let this motherfucker sweep under the rug. Everybody unheard the BBC panorama with Daniel Kinningham, and everybody know about the article out here with Joseph Diaz, right? Everybody heard Joseph Diaz said that he signed the MTK Global, but everybody just forgot about it. They just looked at it, left it alone. But this is the funny thing about this is, this is like the same way with Wilder and oh boy. This is the same damn thing. Moses Heredia, let me go back to the thing. He basically called his fighter immature, reckless, all kind of shit, said that he's not even in the right state of mind to be dealing business by himself. By him fucking self. That's what he said. I'm not making this shit up.
You know what? You can hate that though, and I appreciate you hating that because you brought everything to the light. But why don't we think like that? If they doing that, why wouldn't we think like that to buy all the tickets or do something like that?
Because it's illegal.
Not, though, Mike, I ain't gonna lie, bro. Like, I just hate all of the shit that happens, and it's sad. But they do that shit. We don't do it, yo.
Because it's illegal. And out here,
but everybody doing it.
No, they doing it because Edward Hearn got stopped when he came over here.
Well, yeah, we knew that part.
Yeah, they stopped that.
Trust me, I remember that part.
Because technically, you ain't supposed to. You're only supposed to make a certain percentage more. You're not supposed to make. See, they try to make the tickets a little bit controlled to where. Of course. Have you ever been on Gun Broker?
Nah.
Okay, well, Gun Broker is like the eBay for guns, right?
Yeah, gotcha.
Right. So, if you want to buy bullets, guns, whatever the case may be, you could buy all that. You know, there's rail accessories, clips, magazines, whatever. You could buy it on there, right? But the thing about it is, when's the last time you went to the store and saw ammunition stocked up?
Believe it or not, in Walmart, never.
So yeah, Walmart is the first place people go. But like, okay, so if I go to the store, if I want to buy 9s, 45s, what 30 308s, 30s, 40s, 5.7s, anything, they out. So people, they go to Gun Broker. So I got a 5.7. I'm looking for ammo for a 5.7. They don't have none in the stores. I got to go on Gun Broker or go on the website and find some ammunition, right? So I bought some custom bullets, right? These custom bullets pre-COVID, were $35 for 25. Then they jumped up to 40 something dollars for 25. And now they 70 something dollars for 25, right? If you
Wow.
catch the website when they start every 3 months they do a pre-order every 3 months,
Gun
right?
broker.
Limited.
Got you. Got you.
No, the website's called Elite Ammunition. Every 3 months they do a pre-order sale, but it's limited, right? So I think they
Okay.
only make
Okay.
like
I got you. I
maybe
got you. I heard the last name.
maybe
I ain't
5,000 rounds at a time or something like that, right? 5,000
gonna-
rounds at a time. But guess what? You only get 25 bullets per household of custom made ammunition. So there's
Really?
$75 on their website, but on Gun Broker they're $240.
Okay.
So it bumps up way more, and that's why up over here on when you're trying to when you buy and sell them tickets, they don't like it, and they can shut you down for trying to sell a ticket three, 4, 5, 6 times more than what it's worth.
Yeah.
And that's when Edward or Karen came up here and did that shit, and they really tightened it down on there. Rob Sportsman Lee said Edward Hearns was known to hold up. Edward Hearns was known to through a third party buys up tickets and resells them. But guess what? We don't know, but that's what I'm saying. Who's this third party? That's like 20, that's like 10, 20,000, that's like 10, $20 million. So who's this third party?
Come here, baby.
Like, how do you have you okay? Let's say for instance, use your own money. You give it to this guy or you give it to him back, right? There's a paper trail. So I'm thinking he didn't give nobody no money. I'm thinking they washed it. I'm thinking they washed it. I don't think it was fucking Edward Hearn. I think that money was fucking washed. What better way to get rid of some dope money is the limited who can buy the tickets. You limit who can buy the tickets in the first 30 minutes, an hour, or the first day. You limit who could buy the tickets. And then you let this outside entity buy up all the fucking tickets. I don't think it's Edward Hearn. I'm just saying. What better way to watch 10, $20 million? What better way to do it? I don't know. I'm just saying. I'm just speculating. But like I was saying with this thing, man, it just doesn't sit right. Like, read what's on your screen right now. It says that this is Joseph Diaz's manager. He's saying that Mr. Diaz may not be in the proper mental state to make rational decisions at this time, and that his recent discretions regarding the future of his boxing career were influenced by his premeditated plan to violate the manager-fighter agreement. Now, how did he get into this? He got into this by way of Golden Boy Promotions. Golden Boy Promotions is the one that presented Joseph Diaz, in my opinion, to MTK Global. MTK Global threw $100,000, allegedly, according to Moses Heredia, to Joseph Diaz, unbeknownst to Moses Heredia, who is Joseph Diaz's manager. So what does Joseph Diaz's manager does? He sends this letter to the California Athletic Commission because him being the manager, being in California, he has to register himself as a manager through California, but he also has to register what? His boxing manager agreement with this fighter through California.
Yo, Mike.
Yo.
I don't mean to cut you off. I gotta get back and check. I only got.
All right, homie. You know I'm here, man. You shit.
I'm listening, bro. I'm listening, bro.
Every time you get on the StreamYard, man, you gotta.
What you talking about? Yo.
You gotta. Well, I'll read it again, but you gotta make sure you have your shit on charge. Get on the StreamYard.
Yeah, it's fucked up with my phone, bro. I be online all day.
If y'all can see this, I'm gonna give y'all 20. I'm gonna give y'all a little bit to read this thing. And I'm gonna let y'all. I'm gonna go into the other talking points with this. Okay, did y'all have a chance to read this? Okay, Ronald Fink said smack the like button like that last video I posted from World Star. That motherfucker smacked the shit out of that motherfucker. Ooh wee. Nah, motherfucker. Nah, nah. Motherfucker we just gonna have to fight. Rob Sportsman Lee said, "Yep, it definitely sounds like Matchroom, MTK Global, Frank Warren, and why not Bob Arum all mixed up in this racketeering." I mean, you know, it just doesn't. No, I went to the bathroom real quick, Ron. I had to go to. That's why I said y'all read it. Oh yeah, you couldn't hear it because you bounced out and came back in. That's the reason why I brought this up, man, because it just doesn't seem right, you know. And I hate to say it. This is the reason why I was trying to tell everybody the other day, you know. Even with the Wilder thing, everybody want to say Wilder was drugged or whatever the case may be, but my oh shit, Mo Boxing, what's happening? If you want to get on, the link is above you. Let me know if you want me to catch you up to speed. This is the reason why I was trying to tell folks, man. Sometimes, these cats be out here, playing mind tricks on people, man, because obviously, Moses Heredia, he got done dirty, Renee Box Young, what's happening? Oh, I'm gonna go back into it just in case you guys came back in here. Just let me say this real quick, and I'm gonna hit the rewind button. I don't mind doing it for y'all. I just don't like making videos really because of the interaction. So you know what I'm saying? And sometimes I don't feel like doing all that cutting and shit. It just gets on my motherfucking nerves. But the thing that you guys see is just to show you that Moses Heredia is indeed Joseph Diaz's promoter, right? That's it. It shows you, right? Like this motherfucking cigarette real quick. God damn it. God damn, that ladder on. Woo, that's a crack ladder right there. I know y'all heard that shit. So let's go to the first page, right? Hey, Renee, Ron, and Rob, can y'all see that clear? Is that clear enough for y'all? The thing on the screen? Let me know if it's clear enough for y'all. It looked clear on my end though, but basically this is Moses Heredia, which is Joseph Diaz's manager. This is him sending a letter off to Nevada State Athletic Commission, telling them basically, hey man, this motherfucker's fucking up. I need y'all help. I need y'all help with this matter. To send this to arbitration. So he's basically doing it the right way, right? He's doing it the right way. So Mr. Foster is the executive officer of the California State Athletic Commission, right? So he sent that letter to him. He said all this stuff. He said Bruce Gold says boxing and the mob have been bid since forever, and this is business as usual. No shock to me. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, you know what? To tell you the truth, it shouldn't be a shock to nobody. But like I said, look, Bruce. What if look, every time somebody else gets into a legal dispute, Michael Coppinger, all these guys, all these writers and everything, they in hot pursuit, right? They're in hot pursuit. But with this Joseph Diaz thing, they made one little blanket ass article with nothing, and they left it alone. They didn't go into detail on how really this man is getting screwed. They didn't go into detail like that. Isn't you know what I'm saying? They didn't go into detail. Oh, okay. Rob said it's clear enough for him to read. Now here's the other. This might not be the. Maybe I should have made this a 2-part so it'll be like a lot bigger for you guys. But this is another. This is the other one. Mo, what's happening?
What's good, Mike, man?
Shit, just showing, just giving people, man, some firsthand news because ain't nobody else talking about it.
Yeah, bro, break it to that, man. Cook, bro.
Yeah. So This is so y'all saw the first page, right? That was a letter to Mr. Foster. This is the enclosures to that letter. Because if you read that thing, it says I've enclosed my declaration. Yeah, Renee Box Young, they didn't do shit. They just said, him and his manager, they mad at each other. I don't know what's going on, and they left it alone. So basically, this right here basically goes into detail, and it says that Moses Reddy has tried his best, to do his part by his fighter, but Immature Boxing and MTK Global kept fucking up shit, and then at the end, no, he said that Golden Boy Promotion kept fucking up shit. Then he said that Diaz got into a promotional deal or a business with MTK Global and announced it via social media, right? And the actual lawsuit that Mr. Moses Heredia has, he alleges that MTK Global gave Joseph Diaz $100,000 just a signing bonus. You see what I'm saying? See, basically what happened was, let me give y'all something that I forgot to mention. So basically what fucking happened was in the lawsuit, Moses Heredia found out that Joseph Diaz signed to MTK Global via Twitter, right? The next thing what happened was Moses tried to contact Joseph Diaz, right? So he wouldn't pick up. He had his people's contact Daniel MTK Global, right? So since nobody wanted to play nice, the car that Moses Heredia had on lease for Joseph Diaz, that was in Joseph Diaz's promotion, Moses Heredia had no choice but to go and collect that motherfucking car because it wasn't in his name anyways. Can you dig it? So then Joseph Diaz gets mad and in turn sues Moses Heredia, says that Moses Heredia's cousin is an ex-drug cartel dude, and he doesn't have promoter license or a manager's license, but he's signing documents, blah blah blah, whoop whoop whoop, and Moses Heredia is just a front. But the fact still remains is that Joseph Diaz is the one that signed the contract, and he knew that he couldn't just go around doing business with people without stepping to his manager, and his manager actually in there signing off on it. You know what I'm saying? Because then, if that's the case, everybody else would be doing this shit. That's what you call renegading. That's what it's called. You know what I'm saying? So right now, in the thing that we're reading right here, Renee Box Young, that's what he did. That's exactly what he did. He signed behind his manager's back, and then he tried to run and not pick up the phone. You know what I'm saying? Because this whole thing basically states what he did. He fucked up, got caught, and then Mr. Diaz communications and negotiations with MTK Global were done in secrecy and completely unbeknownst to me. His signing with MTK Global is in direct violation of manager-fighter agreement and the sole and exclusive rights granted to me as a manager. Mr. Diaz has not responded to any communications from me since the MTK Global signing. When my attorney contacted MTK Global CEO Bob Yellen, I think that's his name, regarding the tutorial's interference with my contractual relationship with Mr. Diaz, we were informed that Mr. Diaz has retained his own attorney in this matter, and a dispute exists with respect to Mr. Diaz's intentions to honor the manager-fighter agreement. So he ran. And so Moses had to request to the California State Athletic Commission arbitration to make sure the contract is good to go. And then if you look at the seventh paragraph basically says, Mr. Diaz is an immature and irresponsible young man with a history of vices and indiscretions that have led to very poor decisions and actions in the past. I have done everything I possibly could to help Mr. Diaz focus on his promising boxing career and deal with his personal demons that cause him to make poor decisions and gamble his future away. I strongly believe Mr. Diaz continues to spiral out of control in his personal and financial life and has made an illegal, ill-advised, and ill-influenced decision from wrong reasons. Then it goes on to say, also, I also feel, let me pull that part up for y'all. It's right here. Can y'all see that? Make sure y'all can see that first. Make sure y'all can see that first before I.
Yeah, I can see it.
Then it goes on to say, I also feel that Mr. Diaz may not be in the proper mental state to make rational decisions at this time, and that his recent discretions regarding the future of his boxing career were influenced by his premeditated plan to violate the manager-fighter agreement. So, I just felt like since I was holding on to this, y'all can see why Joseph Diaz, lost his belt on the fucking scale. Because this letter was made August 20th of 2020. I read it. Oh, I'm pretty sure you caught up. It was made last year, before he lost his belt on the stool. His manager was indicating that he has he's in a poor mental state. He's irrational, immature, and all these things. Then he goes into a draw, right, with the fighter. What does Joseph Diaz say? They didn't have adequate gym, adequate sauna, was in a bubble. The combinations were inadequate, and that's the reason why I could not make the weight. And then he goes on to say something like, I was not going to compromise my health and my well-being to try to make weight. Then he gets up in the fight, right? Heavier than his opponent, not drained like his opponent, and goes to a draw. I mean, everybody, Mo Boxy, come on, man. Isn't that about right? Everybody that has, everybody that doesn't come in weight, everybody says what? They're unprofessional, immature, all kind of things, right?
Yeah, totally, man. Totally, man. Listen, I just want to know, because I want to understand this a little bit more. Has he signed for MTK Global? Because if he has, a lot of people are signing with MTK Global. Because I didn't get that bit because I was a bit late for the stream.
And
so is that true then? Yeah.
Well, let me tell you this. From what I've read, he did.
Okay.
The thing about it is, since his promoter, his manager, Moses Heredia, did all this, they're not going to publicly say anything. And I think they probably had to distance themselves. But like I said, the lawsuit that Mr. Moses Heredia has against these guys. So basically, Moses Heredia, right, is suing MTK Global Sports, Golden Boy Promotions, Paul D. Gibson, and Daniel Kinningham.
Wow, that's crazy, man. This the thing, though. I don't know why people are not talking about this, because this is like a big news. But you know what? That shows you that a lot of these, content creators, they're either scared of Daniel Kinningham, or, he's paying them. We already know, he owns a couple of YouTube channels on YouTube. You know what I mean? So no one really wants to talk about this. It's crazy. I believe. I don't know why they're suing Golden Boy. I believe it's all Kinningham. You know what I mean? MTK and Kinningham is the same thing. He still owns that company. He always owned it. It's just other people run it for him. You know what I mean?
I can't remember what I read in the thing, but I believe they suing Golden Boy for getting in the way. They knew, because I think Golden Boy Promotions is actually the promoter, and they the one. I believe they're the ones who set up the meeting with MTK Global and Joseph Diaz.
Okay, well, I got bad news for them, or actually bad news for the fans. That ain't gonna go anywhere. They're gonna get paid whatever they ask for, and then that's it. And we're not gonna hear anything anymore. You know what I mean?
Nah, this
They're just gonna get paid.
no, this lawsuit is still going on.
I'm surprised.
It ain't stopped. It ain't stopped. This dude, he's been fucked. You know what I'm saying? Like when you read the lawsuit, Moses Arabia, he's been putting, at first it was just like, good, just hooking him up, giving him gloves, shit for his amateur career and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Helping him out, getting him in the gyms and stuff like that. Giving him a bit of, finances to get here and get there. And, he ended up signing him when he turned pro. And after that, he's basically insinuating that the guy can't help himself, but not to, but to do the same thing that we see a lot of these boxers do. That's what he insinuating. He's saying, he's not going into strides like what Adrian Broner is doing, or Soldier Kovalev, but obviously his manager and from the thing on the screen, his manager is basically saying that this guy can't help himself. He stays in trouble a lot. He got vices. I don't know what his vices is. It could be not going to the gym, not taking his career seriously, alcohol, drugs. I don't know what it is. Street racing, I don't know. Because his promoter bought him a nice little fast car. Didn't buy him, he leased a nice fast car to make sure that, and actually the spot to stay and stuff like that, gave him a stipend, until we could get somewhere and really start getting the big bucks. But the guy was only taking 18%. We've seen people take more than 18%. You know what I'm saying? And then, you in bed with Golden Boy, so they taking their cut. Now you want a third party to get in, so everybody about to eat off your ass. Yeah, they probably gave you a 100K signing bonus, but guess what? All that's about to be gone, because each time you have a fight, this guy's going to get 18%. That guy going to get his cut. The reason why I'm saying 18%, because we know it's 18%, because I put it on the screen. But I don't know how much Golden Boy is taking, but they going to get everybody got to get their cut, man.
Okay, wait. The only person that's not going to get a cut is MTK Global. MTK Global, they're not in it to take cuts. They're here to obviously to watch the money, because Carl Frampton, he once said, because he's with MTK Global, Carl Frampton said, he doesn't give them anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Okay. So initially he's actually fighting, he's getting all the money.
No. This is the thing. If you give somebody something called look, this is how it is. You can give somebody a signing bonus and not have them pay nothing back. Right? But at the end of the day, that doesn't mean you're going to get money when you fight. So it could be like, okay, well, 100K signing bonus for X amount of fights. I'm going to take this per every fight that you have. Anything left over goes back to you from each one of these fights. Don King gives people signing bonuses, but guess what Don King do? He deducts everything up out of that motherfucker. So when Bermaine Stavern is getting a stipend a month from Don King, right? A stipend basically like for living expenses, sparring, gym expensive, eating expensive, right? Don King is gonna take all that back. You know what I'm saying? And what's ever left over, he may give to you, depending on what kind of contract y'all signed. And Broad Sportsman Lee said, definitely sounds like money laundering. And that's what I'm thinking what it is.
It is. It's 100%. When it comes to MTK Global and Don King, it's not the same thing. Don King was taking the money. These guys, the MTK Global, they're cleaning money. That's what they're doing, man. They're cartels, bro. That's why nobody wants to talk about them, because they're shit scared of them. Because you're gonna get, like, especially if you live in the UK, you're gonna get your door knocked. They're gonna come for you. This is not. They're not in it for the boxing. They just here to clean the, like, like their money and thing. That's why they're not gonna go to any other sport, but boxing is corrupt, and they know that as well. But with Don King, is it's completely different. And this Jojo Diaz guy, why would they invest in Jojo Diaz? Let's face it, he's not a top well-known boxer. He
Yeah.
doesn't generate any money. So to me, that's what they're doing though. MTK, they're picking the low level fighters, like low class weight class fighters, people like Carl Frampton, and they're stealing from small promoters, like Barry McQuiggan in Ireland. So that's what they're doing, man. They want to clean money, fam.
Yeah, and that's what Moses Heredia alluded to in the legal dispute that he has with him. That's what he said. That's it. Moses Heredia basically said these motherfuckers is money laundering over here. And so basically, Moses Heredia is suing when that lawsuit I was telling you about with the Gibson and MTK Global, Daniel Kinningham, Golden Boy Promotions. He has counts against MTK Global or Daniel Kinningham, or whoever, one of them, one of the two dudes or the one entity of RICO charges. RICO charges is something that the feds use out here for racketeering charges, right? And when the feds come with the RICO, it's 90 something percent conviction rate. And so in America, individuals are allowed to sue other individuals or entities under the RICO Act. And that's what he's doing. And so if Daniel Kinningham, I'm pretty sure he's probably going to have he probably has a representative. You know what? I probably should read that court case and see who the fuck was his representative up in that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? To see like who he had come up in there and speak on his motherfucking behalf, because something ain't right.
Yeah, but the thing is with Daniel Kinningham, he doesn't want to go to Ireland. He doesn't want to go back. He's in Dubai hiding in the desert. Because the moment he comes to Ireland, they'll arrest his ass. They'll put him in jail, and the next day they're gonna take him to court. But guess what? He's hiding. He's in a different country getting protected by the Arabs, paying them off with his millions. So that's the thing though, man. This guy is on a run, and people don't believe that. Like, he's literally on a run, man. Why would he go to a foreign country? You know what I mean? Leave his own country. You know what I mean? The shit is crazy, man. That's why he's putting out statements out there. He put a statement out there 2-3 weeks ago to Talksport radio station in the UK. Daniel Kinningham, yeah, he's the biggest crook ever. He works with Eddie Hearn. He works with Bob Arum. The whole boxing industry. I'm not sure about Al Heyman, but you never know, man. This guy is fucking running boxing. There's a mob, a cartel, literally paying everybody. You know what I mean? Trust me, man. The whole thing is corrupt, man. I'm telling you. And they pick who they want to win. You know what I mean? That's why they chose, Fury to win that fight. You know what I mean? It is what it is, man. These guys are corrupt, and they're controlling the whole situation, man. It's easy to, to drug Wilder. It's easy to pay, Mark Breland, a little tablet, that's going to drug Wilder because he's the one that was giving water. Stuff like that. I'm telling you, man, Kinningham is running boxing right now. A fucking mob, man.
Yeah, I think that's about right. But like I said, my whole thing is at the end of the day, you got to keep that. I wish that people kept the same energy. I wish that people kept the same energy that they have with everybody else. Whether or not it was a clean look. Everybody knows, everybody that has a channel on the internet, I'm telling you, everybody admits that Wilder didn't look right. So how about we use the same energy that Daniel Kinningham in the sport of boxing don't look right? How come we can't use that same energy and say that, why is this guy going around over here signing all these fighters, right? But look who he's signing. Like Mo Boxing said, it ain't like it's the cream of the crop guys and stuff like that. It's guys is different type of guys. You know what I'm saying? He's not signing. Well, the only biggest guy he got is Tyson Fury, but he had him for him. Look. Let me tell y'all something. Tyson Fury, right? Where did he go to train when he first came back? The motherfucker went to Spain.
Yeah.
Where is Dillian White been going to train? Spain. Where is it? Right? They both been going to Portugal. Portugal, to be exact. Where did Daniel Cunningham, his daddy, and his brother get caught up at? Spain. Where do they have a boxing gym still to this day? Spain. So people need to start using it like real good, not real good, simple ass logic. Something ain't right about this. And I said the same thing with Wilder and his situation. That at the end of the day, first of all, ain't nobody going to drug somebody to look like that for something they could pop for. But at the end of the day, everybody's pointing the finger at this person or that person, saying this person should have been gone, or this person need to go too, or that person. But I'm telling you guys, sometimes the person that's talking the most is the real problem. Sometimes the person that's not being talked about is the one that did it, because you don't hear nobody else getting insinuated that they possibly drugged Wilder or they possibly had something to do with it. Hell, it could be Tay Jones. Hell, it could be somebody else in this camp. You know what I'm saying? Because if you guys,
I don't think it's Tay Jones because
no. I'm not saying it's him. Said it could be because what everybody want to say now everybody want to go the biblical route and say Judas, but Judas comes in the form of your brother, your daddy, your sister, your mother, all that. You see what I'm saying? So sometimes it ain't all what it seems, but guess what? You could use simple logic to come up with simple reasoning. Now, Bruce, what's happening?
Hey, dude, what's happening? Mo Boxing, how we doing, brother?
What's going on, my big brother, man? Bruce goes. Salute. You got a new mic, yeah?
No.
Oh, you sound better, yeah. It sounds a lot better.
It sounds okay to you, Mike?
Yeah, just keep it there. It's the same, but
well, see, I have one. I have a better one coming in, but I saw the invite out there, man. And you're talking to Mob and Boxing. They've been here forever, and with MTK, the thing is, it's the new fans have no idea what it is. They don't even care, man. It's business as usual, and the old timers, they're rolling there. They're just saying, hey, man, it's the way business goes, and it's just going to keep on going. I don't see anybody jumping in to prosecute this because this is all so international these days. Before it was state by state, smoky backroom deals, leg breakers, all this shit. Dubois, a huge international cartel. They're like Mo Boxing says, man, they're running boxing, and it's so easy to see. You can talk to current boxers and ex-boxers, and they'll all tell you the same thing. It's crooked as hell, man. It's everywhere you look. There's thievery and corruption. I don't see it getting any better, man. I don't see it's coming out in the open now. Maybe because we're all hearing about it. Go ahead.
What's worst case scenario? What's the worst case scenario? Yeah, like these guys are so powerful. The worst case scenario is like, they could tell Wilder to lose. They could say, you know what, you're gonna lose this fight, and you know what, Mark Breland could be the fall guy. That's the worst case scenario. I don't believe that. I hope not. But these guys are so powerful, man. We're talking about a mob here. We're not talking about regular people. We're talking about people that can make things happen, that can threaten your life. You know what I mean? If you don't take the money, they'll do anything. There's a lot of people betting on that fight as well. Regardless, they said, Fury is going to win this fight no matter what. That could be the worst case scenario. I hope not, though. But you never know about boxing, man. We've seen a lot worse. And I'm telling you, man, that fight did not look normal at all, man. It did not look normal at all. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. I watched it today. I watched Breland say he never touched the water in the fight, and I watched him standing there with the water bottle in his hand. It's like, are we stupid? Can't we just rerun the fight again? You did hand him the water. That's a lie right there.
Yeah.
Wait. So he say, listen. How can he say he did not give the water to him? He gave the first entire fight. He was the only one giving him the water.
I'm talking about the second.
Yep. No, the second fight he was the only one giving him water as well. And I believe in the Luis Ortiz fight, before he gave him the water against Brazil. I think Breeden's been giving him water. So why on earth, is he saying I didn't give him the water? So this is the thing, man.
Exactly.
The walls are closing in. The walls are closing in on the truth right now, man.
Why would he say that? Why would he say that when it can be disproven more? I just can't believe he'd say something that stupid for all of us to hear, and it can be disproven with a click of the button.
You know what? Yeah, I think what it is like the guilt. I think Mark must feeling guilty, man. You could see him. I watched him in that interview, the UK channel, owned by the MTK Global, that channel. And when Breland, was talking, like, you could see there's a guilt in his face. Like, when he was talking, he wasn't convincingly, I wasn't convinced in the guy. And for him to say, like, I did not touch the water, that was nail in the coffin, man.
Well,
like, why would you say that?
Well, a devil advocate would be like, well, he wasn't talking about the water in the ring because obviously, when you watch it, it wasn't that Wilder was how would you say he was drugged in the ring. He was drugged before the ring walk. You know what I'm saying? And so, but at the end of the day, you know what? At the end of the day, I'll put it to you like this. All he had to say was he didn't do it. Somebody's phone is next to a speaker or something.
Yeah, that's not me. That's not mine doing that.
Yeah, that sound like RFI. I don't know who it is, but it sounds like RFI to me.
Salute, bro.
Salute.
But what's up, Rob? But at the end of the day, you know what? All right. At the end of the day, he only thing he had to say was I didn't do it. That's it. He didn't have to say all that other shit and and try and get his son on there and all that stuff. I mean, I don't give a fuck what his son got to say. At this point, I don't give a fuck what anybody got to say, trying to vindicate themselves or whatever case it be. You got Wilder got his truth, Mark Breland got his truth, and that's it. You either believe both of them, you believe one or the other, or you just sit up over there in the middle and be like, well, I just watch to see how it all unfolds. And nobody.
Wilder.
No, that's not what I'm saying is at the end of the day, folks ain't going around here saying that I hate to see two real good people at the end of the day lose their friendship like that and their friendship go out like that on Front Street and all that blah 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 whoop. You don't hear people saying like that. They just want to hear the gossip and they want the gossip to continue. You know what I'm saying? Whether or not Mark Breland did it or not. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know what I'm talking about. When you see two good friends at the end of the day lose their friendship over some bullshit, you be like, damn, man, y'all really gonna let it go out like that? Blah blah whoop whoop. I'm talking about if you was on the inside looking in.
You know what though? Like from what I heard, yeah, they didn't even have friendship no more, man. They wasn't even really talking. Like what I heard is like, he was jealous of J Diaz. You know what I mean? Like he wasn't really talking to Wilder. I just think there was no more relationship. Even Wilder said he outgrew him. Like, you know what I mean? Like he wasn't learning nothing from him anymore. You know what I mean? Like he was just looking after him. Because he's loyal. As he should be. But at the same time, you can't be loyal to everybody. Look, he snaked him in the end, and he said everything that he was feeling. Like he shouldn't have to say stuff like that.
Yeah, but Wilder said he kept him alone because he saw him as family.
Yeah, he was looking after him. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. He saw the man as family, no matter what the situation was, and so that's what I'm saying is like, if you saw the man as family, y'all in like that, everybody else see that you guys are family. You know what I'm saying? By the way you being treated, it's not a good look for nobody. Because guess what happens when this shit get on Front Street? People gonna run on this side, people gonna run on that side, but all the people that don't like you, when you got MTK Global buying up all these media outlets, when you got Edward Hearn buying up all these media outlets, when you got all these cats out here paying these guys to make videos, paying these guys to write articles on Deontay Wilder, why the fuck is Sports Talk talking about Deontay Wilder's Deontay Wilder, ex-heavyweight champion of the world, brother was beat by this guy and drugs implemented and stuff like that? Why are they coming out with different articles on this dude from the past when all this shit should have been talked about in the past, but it wasn't? People, when Tyson Fury and Wilder first met each other, them fucking clowns wasn't talking about let's see this fight and blah blah blah, trying to get these guys to get up in the ring. No, yo, they was too worried about Wilder not fighting nobody. Oh, he needs to fight somebody. He needs to do this. He needs to do that. Blah blah blah. AJ 17 belts and he gave 17 fights. He got X amount of belts. Look at all his accolades. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't sit right. You know what I'm saying? Because guess what? Out of all this time that we've been seeing it, this is where they want Wilder to be. On the outside, on the fritz. Not in the inside. He didn't want him in no man's land. Because now you got this dude named Tyson Fury. Now, if those pictures are indeed true, Tyson Fury looks like he got back on the bandwagon, because guess what? He ain't got nothing to fill that void, to fill that cocaine, to fill that alcohol, to fill that the motherfucking prostitutes. He ain't got nothing to fill that void no more. You know what I'm saying? That nigga should have been an AA all this time. No, you know what he did? He's the type of dude that says, I got mental problems, but I could do it all on my goddamn own. And then if you look at those pictures that they's floating around with his ass, obviously it looks like what? He needed help.
I don't think he's got a mental problem at all, man. I think, if he had a mental problem, he wouldn't even. He's not even allowed to fight. The doctor wouldn't even sanction it.
Yeah,
someone
you can.
That,
you can.
suicidal.
No, go ahead.
That's not what I heard.
No. You can't.
A lot of people.
No, they lying, because a lot of fighters, a lot of people around here is bipolar.
No, but the guy is suicidal. He said he wants to end his life.
Yeah,
we're talking about a suicidal guy. And this is at the highest end of boxing. You know what I mean? And as a guy that's suicidal in boxing.
I'm gonna tell you something, because you can't listen to everybody. You got to read the shit for yourself. They go and get evaluated, just like after a fight. They go and get evaluated. Now, if the doctor tells the truth or not is the question. But now, we all know if he's self-medicating, that's what they were saying. He was self-medicating with the depression, with the alcohol and the cocaine, and getting his dick sucked by flat-out prostitutes. Okay, we know that. We know that, right?
Yeah.
And so now, in order for him to get back in the ring after he said that, he has to go sit on somebody's motherfucking couch and get evaluated and get prescribed some pills or some type of thing to get him back on the wagon. But guess what? That's all the doctors know.
Yeah, but listen. I think he's basically playing as a fool, man. Literally, man. The guy is not crazy. He's normal. He's using this as emotion. He wants people to feel sorry for him, man. He hasn't got no fans. Everybody was supporting Anthony Joshua, and because he came with that sob story, I'm depressed. He won a lot of fans over, because a lot of people can relate to him, because a lot of people are depressed. But I'm telling you now, man, Tyson Fury is not depressed at all. He there's nothing wrong with the guy. He's a compulsive liar. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. What's good, right, man?
Hey, how you doing? I agree with Mo Boxing. Tyson Fury is a comic. If anything, he's got a drug and alcohol problem, but the rest of it is strictly a con game. That's all. And the American media is buying into it. But you can't force the fans to come out and say, oh, Tyson Fury is a superstar. That's bull. Who is everybody talking about? Wilder. When is Wilder getting to the ring? That's the face of boxing. Not Fury, not Canelo.
Yeah, go ahead, Rob.
No, go ahead.
No, I just want to read these comments before you keep cooking, because I've been waiting. They've been going for a minute. Tyrone said PBC should take comments off that fight. I mean, they read. Oh, PBC, them niggas reading them damn comments in them damn YouTube videos. They can lie all they want to and say they don't see that. A lot of them racist shit on them live fucking fights, them prelims. They should, because you know what, at the end of the day, you know, if people really cared, then they'd do something about what they see. Watcher said, empty the tank. Yeah. Tyrone said, Mark Breeden looks like an extra from Bug Life. In my opinion, you a fool. Votes UK, what's happening? PBC done Wilder dirty on that post today. Yeah, they did, but they don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? They're just gonna post the shit and see how it goes. But elaborate how you feel about it, though, so we can talk about it. T.S. Boxer said, what has Breland ever done for Wilder except for failing as a trainer? That's what it kind of seemed like he did. We talked about that, Tyrone. You said, he, you know, sticking around catching the paycheck and shit like that, and, you know, don't want to stay in the senior citizen home, so fuck it. Watcher said, Davis took Breland's heart. Yeah, he did. Watcher said, hey, Burchell, whole team should be fired, right? You know what? You don't, yeah. I mean, BFTB talked about it, but guess what? Dominic Brazil was in the same boat. Dominic Brazil was getting smacked up across that ring, was losing the fight, the whole fight. He was getting hurt. Couldn't see out of his what is it, left or right eye? Couldn't see out of that motherfucker. The other eye was getting closed shut. You know what I'm saying? And he wasn't winning. And he was off balance. Couldn't stand up on his own free will. Was getting slapped, getting hit upside that head around that ring. They could have stopped that motherfucking fight. You know what I'm saying? But guess what?
You know what? Yeah. You know what? Otto Wallen got robbed for 2 knockouts. He could have had 2 knockouts. You know what I mean? He could have had the Tyson Fury knockout, and he could have had the Dominic Brazil knockout.
Yeah.
They literally robbed him, man.
let me read these last ones, and I'm gonna let Rob go. Then Bruce, you can chime in on some of this. Actually, before Rob and Bruce go, I want to say something after I read his comments. God damn it! Oh, there we go. Watcher say, hey, Mo, have you seen Anthony Breland?
Yeah, I seen him.
I ain't trying to hear that. None of that shit. Tyrone said Fury and his wife are swingers. Man, they both. Let me tell you something. Before I read the last comment, let me tell you something. Fury and his wife remind me of Bobby and Whitney. Nobody knows who's the one who owned the coat. Was it his wife that got Tyson Fury on the coat, or was it Tyson Fury that got his wife on the coat? Who was it?
I think it's the wife, man.
Rob Sportsman Lee and Bruce Goes knows what I'm talking about with this. Everybody out there saying that Bobby Brown got Whitney on the coat, but everybody's saying yeah, exactly. Now Watcher said he had a built-in excuse in 2018 just in case he got put on his ass, which he did. Yeah, I mean, he don't give a fuck. But look. Back in the days, if anybody want to say anything about mob and boxing, back in the days, you couldn't fight in Las Vegas and in New York without paying off the mob. You couldn't. No matter who you was. If you didn't pay off the mob before your ass went there, something was going to happen. And that's why some fighters didn't want to go to New York. Some fighters didn't mind paying their respects before, when they went there. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Maybe they wanted a couple of cases of 40 ounce. You know what I'm saying? Maybe they wanted some of that old sweet Coke 45. You know, because Coke 45 was big back in the days, baby. You know what I'm saying? Just joking. Rob, go ahead, man.
No, you took it. It's all fucked up. I don't know. I was just like, with this whole money laundering thing, ESPN, they're involved. Bob Arum is definitely involved. But everybody's quiet on the American media side. They don't even want to bring that up. Now, they're going to look stupid if the Fed actually start handing out subpoenas and start charging people and picking them up. Or they tell ESPN, hey, turn over your financial records. We want to look at your book. Now, I haven't heard anybody say anything about Josh Warrington and that other Josh Kelly, how bad they looked in their fight. I mean, hey, I thought these guys were good, but I guess there's a difference. What is that saying on CFTV's channel? There's levels. I guess there's levels between world class and European level, domestic level. Just saying.
Yeah, it's bad.
And as far as Mark Breland goes, to me personally, Mark Breland revealed a lot when he gave that interview, the one he claimed he was set up. But Mark Breland's been around a long time. He knows about interviews. He's given thousands in his career. So about being set up, I don't buy that crap. he basically went over there. I'm pretty sure they paid him, and he just told what he felt. He told how he felt and stuff. So fuck Mark Breeden. That's how.
Right on.
Mm,
Go ahead.
no, that's it.
Oh, all right, Bruce, what you got?
Hey, Rob Sportsman Lee, brother. Salute to you, man. I haven't talked to you yet. How you doing, man?
Hey, salute to you, Bruce Gold.
All right, man. You know how I feel about this whole thing, man. You know, when I started watching boxing, the mob was involved in it. You know, where I come from, man, every fighter I know is backed by somebody who's connected. Now it's different, you know. Las Vegas kind of sterilized all this. The pen is mightier than the sword, so things changed for a while. But you know, I lived through the Don King era and the Bob Arum era back in the day, and man, you know, these guys were crooked as hell, but yet they gave us the best fights in the world. So you know, nobody cared about the mafia and the boxing. You know, they did to a level, but it wasn't all over the newspaper. It wasn't there was no internet, and the fights just got made. You know, we were the outcome of these fantastic fights all throughout the 80s and the 90s, and not now it could be the same. Just in my opinion, it should be the same way. Tyson should be a fucking man, and he should give Wilder that rematch that he's due. Get rid of all this bullshit and doubt. Yeah, you say the gloves weren't tampered with. You say the water wasn't rigged. You say the water wasn't drugged. Hey, man, you want to shut everybody's mouths? Give us a third fight and fucking do what you did in the second fight, where everybody can see the preparations you made to do that. We'll shut our mouths. I'll be the first one to say Tyson Fury is the king of boxing, but until I see him beat Deontay Wilder on an even field, the fucking guy is nothing but a cheat in my eyes. He may be a good boxer. He may be whatever the fuck he says he is, but to me, he's a fucking cheat, man. And I want to see him give a rematch, and he's a liar. And man, you know, fuck everything else. Boxing is boxing. That's what it says. It says Michael Johnson boxing talk, and more is more. But boxing talk is fighting, man. And if these guys are fighters, let them fucking fight. A year anniversary today. Sign a contract and make a third fight. That's what we're waiting for. That's what the fans want. And ultimately, we're the bottom line in boxing, aren't we?
Damn
That's
right.
it.
And you know, and that's the thing, man. A lot of people don't even want to fucking look at the conversations that's going on in boxing, you know, right now. You know what I'm saying? You know, there is a lot of things to talk about, but you know, when you go on Twitter and shit like that, you know, you're gonna get stuff like this. You know what I'm saying? Anybody talking about no anniversary versus no Canelo and Rocky Fielding? You know what I'm saying?
No.
Anybody talking about that shit? Because it ain't no need to talk about it. Like it's but there's everything to talk about when it comes to Deontay Wilder. This guy, look, right? This guy can't box, right? This guy amateurs, all that shit. He got Diaz, he got Mark Breland. But as far as Mark Breland as a trainer, what has he done? You know what I'm saying? What has he done? So, you know, Deontay is in America, and he probably has at one point, you know what I'm saying? And even right now, he has access, you know, all these magnificent trainers are all around here. You know what I'm saying? And he picked somebody that in the tail end of their career, and even before not even in the tail end of the career, couldn't get the fuck out of the way of a jab. Every time Mark Breland stepped up, he got his ass knocked out. That's like me picking Dillian White to be my trainer. The fuck, you know what I'm saying? Like, and that's the reason why I try to tell folks, man. You know, yeah, you could be decorated at the amateur background, but that means, you know, what you should probably do is train amateurs, not professionals. You know what I'm saying? What you should do is train amateurs how to get somewhere so that they above the power curve than their opponents. Because amateur boxing and professional boxing is totally different. You know what I'm saying? Even when you get in the professional boxing, you still have to learn. People are still learning their ways around the ring. If that was the case, then Shakur Stevenson, David Haney, and everybody else should have already been they should have had their first championship fight in their first fight. If that's the case, you know, Earl Spencer Crawford should have had a championship belt on their first fight. If that was the case, everybody out there that's been a gold medalist coming out of the amateurs, right? On their first fight should get a title shot. If that was the case, these niggas be getting their head knocked off. Probably won't be boxing.
Like Lomachenko.
Yeah, that's how. Look what happened. The nigga lost.
Yeah, Salido.
And he didn't run that back. That's what he got his ass whooped by Slolito or Salido, whatever you want to call him. Got his ass whooped, and didn't say, hey man, you know, let me avenge this loss. Nope. Why? He didn't need to. He don't care. He don't care.
And there was no pressure put on him to run it back. There was no pressure put on him to run it back. Because he's the Matrix. The angle, the speed, the skill. He's better than Ali, Sugar Ray Leonard.
Hey, let me give you a little scoop. Well, not even a little scoop, a little shot of history on the heavyweight boxing. You want to talk about an amateur getting an opportunity on his first fight? Well, way back there when Floyd Patterson was a heavyweight champion, there was an Olympic gold medalist by the name of Pete Rademacher. His first professional fight after winning his Olympic gold medal was the heavyweight championship of the world with Floyd Patterson. It was back in the early 60s. And can you imagine if that happened today? The Olympic gold medalist in his first fight fighting for the heavyweight championship of the world. But this happened once and only once in history, man. You check that out if and any of you buffs want to see something that's very interesting. But it happened once. The guy, obviously, Pete Rademacher never won the World Heavyweight Championship, but it was something at the time, from what I understand. And Scrapbook Boxing's got videos on it. Blood Boxing's got a video on it. Very, very cool stuff, but it's not unprecedented, and it could happen, man. You know, and the way things are, with boxing being run, via social media, we could see something like that, man. You could see some Olympian get the push and get the social media, get the hits on Facebook and everything else. Gets out of the Olympics and he could go for a world title on his first fight. I could see some idiotic promoter putting up millions of dollars for that, man. You know, anything to get the excitement. Look what's going on, man. The next biggest pay-per-view fight they're saying is going to be the third fight between Mike Tyson and Evander Holyfield, and it's like, man, you want to see guys that are closer to my age, closer to prime fighting age, get in the ring and swap fists, man. I'm not paying for that shit. That's the direction boxing's going in today, man.
Wait a minute, that's going to be on pay-per-view?
Of course it's going to be on pay-per-view.
Oh, hell no. I'm not paying for that either.
Dude, they're talking about up to 200 million pay-per-view buys on that fight.
No way. What are they? They must be charging about $20 like the zone.
I don't know, but it's out there to be read about, and I heard that there's up to 200 million up to 2 million pay-per-view buys, which will be a record in the right now for boxing.
You know what, though? Yeah, you're right, Bruce Ghost, because I think that will do 2 million pay-per-view buys, because there's a lot of casuals, that watch boxing, and when they hear about Mike Tyson, they don't even know his real age.
Really, man?
They're just gonna buy it. They're just gonna buy it.
They're gonna have dinosaurs.
$49.99.
They're just gonna buy it. You know what I mean?
$49.99.
You know what I mean? Because then the boxers that we got right now, they're not getting promoted the right way. But Mike Tyson back then, you know what I mean? He had the proper promotion, so everybody knows Mike Tyson. So they're gonna buy it, and Evander Holyfield, they don't even know. Like they're just gonna buy it. People are like that because they're just dumb. But I'm not buying it. I'm not even gonna stream it. You know what I mean? I don't care for that fight. You know what I mean?
No, it's not the same when you look at guys that are in their 40s. They get in the ring and take their shirts off and start duking it out, man. You know, it looks like the two uncles at the picnic. You know, it really does. I go see Thoroughbreds race, man. I don't go see jackasses race, you know, and that's no disrespect to any boxer at all. But
What fight was y'all talking about?
Mike Tyson and Evander Holyfield today.
I watch it, but you know, just because, you know, I want to see what they still got. But to tell you the truth, what I would like to see, you know what, to tell you the truth, Mike Tyson could have whooped Dominic Brazil.
Yeah.
Dominic Brazil we saw, Mike Tyson would have cleaned that nigga out.
Yeah.
Mike but Mike don't have the same power. Mike don't have that same power because he was catching Roy Jones with a lot of shots. Roy was still there.
Yeah, but the thing is though, like Dominic, like he's got no confidence whatsoever, man. Like you could Otto Walling, like he could have knocked him out, like, but it was just too patient.
Nah,
Dominic Brazil is not the same no more. Like whoever fights Wilder, like they're never the same. You know what I mean? He looks like a shit.
I think Ortiz still good enough to beat a lot of people ass.
But Dominic, dude, I mean, look, Mo, the dude didn't lack confidence. Dominic Brazil didn't lack confidence. That motherfucker did not stop. He just couldn't. His hand, his footwork.
Abel Sanchez is a shit trainer.
Oh my God! What they say? Just he said, go for it, go straight at him. I'm like, he ain't never talked about his defense, moving your goddamn head. He just said, go straight at him. They didn't have a real game, dude. Dominic Brazil, his footwork was atrocious. All the punches. Look at the punches. Look how he was throwing them. He couldn't land. He couldn't land that because look how he was throwing them. It was horrible.
And I've seen him faster than that. I've seen him with hand speed a lot faster than that. And he gets slow, but he had almost 2 years off. Like I said, Abel Sanchez shouldn't be about.
Yeah, Abel Sanchez was telling him just hit him on the chest. He was saying like, don't headhunt. You know, hit him on the chest. You know, hit him on the arms. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, to me, Brazil didn't look good though, man. He's past his expiration date. You know, you got to respect the guy. His only 2 defeats were to Fury and Joshua. So, man, you know, no disrespect to him, but 2 years off.
Joshua.
Yeah, excuse me. I'm sorry, Wilder and Joshua. What am I saying, man? But
no. Joshua and Wilder. Come on, Rob, man. Let's not change history, but yeah, you know, it is what it is. Listen, he had a 7-round beat down by Joshua, and he had a horrible KO by Wilder. So there's no confidence in him, man. Like you could see the dude, man. Like he's done completely.
He didn't look in shape either, man. He just did not look like he should belong in that ring. He looked like a grandfather clock that had slab on him, and it was not Dominic Brazil that I remember, man. You know, even when he fought Deontay Wilder, that was a good fight till he got starched, man. He nailed Wilder a couple of times.
Yeah.
He didn't do shit. I think he started training late. I think he had this one in the bag. You know, the dude. See, the way I see it as with confidence, Dominic Brazil never stopped trying to get him out of there. The reason why he was saying aim for the shoulders, so that way if he dips, he hits him. But the flip side to that is to keep his ass on the ropes, because even if you hit him on the shoulders, you're gonna keep him from going. You're gonna keep him from going where he wants to go, so you can make some damage. That's the reason why his corner was telling him that, hey, when you get him on the ropes, aim for the shoulders and aim for the body. And he didn't start doing that until like the 11th round when it was too late.
But you know what, though? Yeah, he hasn't got no power either, because he was hitting him with the uppercuts. I've seen a lot of uppercuts, and Walling wasn't even feeling it.
Look at he didn't have no juice. Look, like you said earlier, the refs could have stopped that fight a long time ago. The dude didn't have no legs. He was fumbling around the ring, getting hit upside his head. I'm talking about, y'all saw him when he was getting hit. Y'all seen the S-curl flying every single time, spit flying out of his mouth
everywhere. Yeah,
the dude was acting
he
like
definitely wasn't shit.
He was coughing around the ring like he had like the flu. Kept spitting all over the ring. You know what I'm saying? And then at one point, kind of like his leg was fucked up. But you know, at the end of the day, he got his ass whooped. And just like I told y'all before the fight, I said I'm picking Otto Wallins, but it's gonna be a battle of whoever comes in shape. Whoever comes in shape. And this sorry ass Negro couldn't even come in. Guess what? He didn't even have the decency to open up the Urban Dictionary to see what in shape was.
Hey, just for full disclosure, I was picking Brazil by knockout. So
you bet money on it.
Wrong.
Did you bet money on it?
I didn't bet money, but after a couple of drinks at that 1738, I was telling everybody before them guys got in the ring, I said Brazil will knock this guy out.
Yeah, the thing is, man, you don't get too many of those primetime dates on Showtime like that, man. And Wallin, look, he was fighting like he knew where he was. He knew what was at stake. And Brazil was just there for the ride, man. That's the impression I got off that fight.
And you know what? The funny thing is, yeah, like Walling is not even, to me, Walling is not even a world class fighter. Like, I see him losing against Sora, Usyk, even Dillian White beats him. Like, I don't think he's all that, to be honest. Otto Walling.
No. I disagree. Walling looked good. He and Joey Camacho, he definitely a good trainer. He looked that way. Walling, no, I think he's the real deal. I think he's real. I like his boxing IQ.
No,
you don't need power. You don't need power when you can hit, move like that. You don't need power. As long as you can hit and move, that's the sweet thing.
Yeah, and Joey Gamache is a real exciting new trainer today too, man. He's from up my way, and I saw him when he was a world champion, and he was a tough guy till he ran into Arturo Gatti, man. But Joey Gamache was a tough son of a bitch, believe me, and he's a good trainer right now. You keep your eye on that guy.
Joey Camacho. He's a good coach, man. And he's the coach of what's his name? Teofimo Lopez.
Yes,
he's coaching Teofimo Lopez, right?
Well, his father's not coaching him anymore, so if he is, he just got into camp.
Damn,
No. I think he's the second trainer. Like he was the second trainer of Teofimo Lopez.
Oh, he's been there then. Hey. That shows you his worth.
Yeah,
maybe you can get Tio some balls.
Let me read some of these comments real quick. Well, I was gonna say this before I read some of the comments, man. As soon as we saw like the fight happen, man, motherfuckers was hot about who they saw in Dominic's corner. You know, they was like, "Oh shit, this is it. This is what they got." But come the second, third round, I was like, "Yeah, Wallen should have had after the second and third round. Wallen should have had Dominic Brazil out of there, man. It was." That left hand of it, that straight left was just taxing that ass. Let me read some of these comments. Watcher said, "Hey Mo, you got a guy on the PBC video of Wilder versus Fury 2 impersonating you as a pro boxer. I mean as a P boxing. Watcher, is it on you? Okay. Mo Boxer says, Watcher, I seen it. Shake my head. Damn, you had an impersonator, huh? Volta UK said PBC on some bullshit. Yep. TS Boxer said Fury and his wife shoot videos and sell them to their cousins. That's fans only shit. That's some fans only shit. But they keep it in the family version. Votes UK. Tyson fought like 25 times in 18 months, didn't he? He probably did. UK.
That sounds right. Yeah,
people could do that. Now in these days, they probably won't let you do it because you get hit, you got that 9-8 suspensions and shit, month suspensions, But I'm pretty sure if you don't get hit, they can make it again because like Anderson is fighting again. Votes UK said Brazil will become American Chisora. He already is. TS Boxer said Brazil lacked conditioning, couldn't pick up the pace. He couldn't pick up the pace. He's taking too much time off to try to get his win back, and that cost him a lot. And he should have just stuck with going to the body to slow that guy down. People moving around the ring, man. You got to figure out how to slow him down. If you can't slow them down by way of cutting off the ring because you ain't fast enough, man, you gotta go for that body, man. You gotta slow him down because obviously you couldn't land upstairs to save his life. Then he also goes to say Joey Camacho looks like he wants to lube you up. Damn.
You know what? Yeah. Do you know what? Yeah, Dominic Brazil. Yeah, he's a disappointment because he's 6'7". He's a giant, and for him to box like that, like, it's quite disappointing, man. If I had a body like that, like, you know what I mean, like, I'll do my best, you know, to kill someone like Otto Walling. Like, look at the size of Otto Walling compared to Brazil, man. Like, he was putting him down a corner. He was punching him, and he wasn't even hurting him. I just think like, you know, the confidence wasn't there, man.
Nah,
I
he
think
didn't
if he
even
has a
look
little
like
bit confidence.
he didn't look like he wanted to be there, man. You know, he was there for the bag, and that was it. That's just what it looked like.
That's what I think. Yeah, I think he didn't really want to be there. I think he was there for the bag. Even when he lost, you know, he wasn't disappointed. When he got knocked out by Wilder, like, you could see in his face, he was disappointed. But against Otto Walling, Brazil was just, you know, he didn't care. Like, you know, it is what it is.
So he don't have to care because those big paydays, he won't be getting any more of those.
Nah, it's a wrap. It's a wrap now. I mean, that's the thing though. Is like when you fuck up the church's money, you know, and you get up in there, like, it's not like, let's say Dominic Brazil, right? Y'all all know, or now you know, my big pet peeve, and it's in the heavyweight division, especially the heavyweight division, is coming in there in shape. Coming in there in shape. You know what I'm saying? And we see it. If you don't come in there in shape in the heavyweight division, the other guy comes into shape, or the other guy doesn't come in into shape, it's gonna be over who lands first. You know what I'm saying? Or whoever gets tired first. And we see that from too often. With Derek Chisora, with Dillian White, Dominic Brazil, who's the other jackass? That Haitian dude, Bermain Stavern. Bermain Stavern. And there's other guys too. You know, you get up the guy that Anderson just fought, the Big Baby Miller just fought, out of shape. You get up in there out of shape, and the motherfucker hit your ass a couple times, and you gasp for air. What do you think is gonna happen? Dominic Brazil couldn't cut off the ring, and the reason why he couldn't cut off the ring because he was out of shape, and he was too tired to cut off the ring. And he didn't look at his legs. Every time he tried to cut off the ring, it was like his legs was crossed. It was like his legs was crossed, and he couldn't cut the guy off. But like, come in shape and defense. That's the two biggest things you need in the heavyweight division. Is defense is coming in shape. Otto Walling came in this fight probably not even in the best of shape of his life. You know what I'm saying? Probably at 85% in shape than he was in the Tyson Fury fight. But he still was able to outlast this guy because he had to do much but jab and hit him up across his head with that straight left every now and again. But guess what? If Dominic Brazil would have came up in there in shape, like when he fought Deontay Wilder, like when he fought Anthony Joshua, he would have gave this dude some problems. But guess what?
He definitely made it tougher.
Yeah, he would have made it a lot tougher. But that's what he needed. He needed to come into shape with a little bit more defense. That's all he needed. And if you can't do that in the heavyweight division, you know, stay your ass at home. Say you don't want to fight. Find another fight. Stay your ass at home. Ain't no need for you to get up in the ring and get a fucking snooze fest like that. Don't nobody want to see this shit. Don't nobody want to see a heavyweight fighter get up in there with some triple D titties. With Hawaiian rolls around your waist. You know what I'm saying? Look at Andy Ruiz. Andy Ruiz did the same damn thing Dominic Brazil just did.
Okay, well look at the other side, man. While Walling didn't do himself any injustice at all, man. He moved himself right up there in the pack, man. You got Jared Anderson, you got Junior Farr, you got Parker. I mean, the heavyweight division is hot right now. There's a lot of young lions right there, and you know, he's the perfect gauge to see if you're going to go into the pack, into the contenders, or go back to the also rans. So Walling is in a good spot right now. He's in a good place to be, man.
Absolutely. I think.
Hold up.
Can I talk about Jared Anderson quickly?
Hold up. You can talk about him real quick, but let me play this. I think this is what should happen with anybody, with any heavyweight boxer.
Oh, God.
With any heavyweight boxer that gets in the, if you come in the ring out of shape, this is what should happen to you right here.
You know, if you're free to, I'll get it the right way.
It's not visible.
It's not visible. Hold up. It's not visible.
Yeah, now it is. Yeah.
Okay. Blow it up a little bit. Can you see it now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just
I
close
can
it.
see it now.
See, I can't, but it doesn't matter. I've seen this thing 10 times today, and it's fucking hilarious.
No peep.
Is he gonna slap him?
Hold up.
Slap him. He slaps the fucking earth, wind, and fire.
Hold up. I gotta listen to it.
No. Those guys don't peep. Don't peep.
I gotta mute myself, man.
Don't peep.
Fuck off.
Oh,
Fuck
yeah.
off. Is this real though? Like, cause
Don't peep.
it's like don't beep. Like, what the hell?
Oh yeah, we fighting then.
Dude, that's
Nah,
that's in a prison cell. That is so real, man.
Yeah, but look, yeah, you saying you're gonna fight him, but if you was that size against that guy in a little small room, there's little chance that you go in that little room. If it's you need a lot of a little
Nah, I
bigger
would have won
space.
that one. Let me tell
Yeah,
you.
but
I need his fat ass in his nuts.
when you're
Kick him in
in that
his
world,
knees,
when you're in
break
that
his
world,
ass down and choke him out.
when you're in that world, you create games, and that was you win, I slap you, I win, you slap me, and man, and that big guy got that win, he got that shot, and man, he slapped that. You could see that. Oh my
What happened?
goodness!
The backstory on that was he snitched. He got caught snitching. He got caught snitching. So that was, I think, the ultimatum was
Payback.
Probably doing he had to do the unthinkable or take this slap. Y'all know what the unthinkable is.
But yeah, I don't want to talk about that.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's fucked up, man.
But dude,
listen,
that thing is hilarious. That video. You know, you watch that by yourself, and you know, I'll crack up at a wake thinking about that. That is just so fucking funny, man.
That's crazy, man. That's
to
me that's inhumane, man. But can I quickly talk about Jared Anderson? Yeah,
America. Wait a minute, man. They in the penitentiary. He got caught snitching. Do you know what happened?
Snitching,
yeah. That ain't humane. It's like you either get stabbed or you got
stitches, man.
You're like you gonna have to sell some. You gonna have to. He ain't got no money. It looked like he ain't got no support system, so he probably gonna have to sell some booty.
Nah, fuck that, man.
Hey, big buddy needs a manager, man.
There's a booty for the rolled up cigarettes.
Fuck that shit, man. But listen, yeah, that's person, I guess, in it. You know what I mean? And listen, you know, Jared Anderson, you guys should be happy, man. Jared Anderson, man, he showed me last week that he's the goods, man. Jared Anderson, he's the goods, man. Like the guy that he knocked out, Kingsley Abbey, he was a tough guy. No one ever knocked that guy out. You know what I mean? Jared Anderson can box. He can change styles. That's the future, man. This guy will be a heavyweight champion.
Is the future.
He's only 20 years old. The future's looking bright for America, man. To me, I can say now he's the best boxer on the planet right now. The way he boxes, you know what I mean, and he's got power, and he's only 21 years old, and he's from Ohio. Wow, America got a boxer in their hand, man, and he's a big dude as well, 6'4".
Yeah, America pretty much turns out boxers like that every day and all the way. We just got to see how he does against that competition.
And he's got skills,
right
man.
or wrong, Michael?
Yeah, I'm with Rob, man. We gotta see some more of that. We gotta see some more of that.
I've seen enough. I've seen enough to know that Jared Anderson is the goods, because Kingsley Abbey, like in his last fight, yeah, he was supposed to be washed. He was supposed to get knocked out by a guy called Guido Finiella, an Italian prospect, and he had a draw with him, and I believe Kingsley Abbey won that fight. And then Jared Anderson made it easy work of Kingsley Abbey. So I could see what sort of fighter Jared Anderson is. He's got heart, he's got skills, and he doesn't mind to trade with you as well. So I actually think this guy is the goods, man. And at the age of 21, man, wow.
Nah,
I don't know. Maybe Bruce, because Bruce, obviously, you know, Bruce knows a lot more than me. You know what I mean? So maybe Bruce can talk about it.
You know as much as me about anything, Mo, about this boxing, man. I'm a student of the game, And if I can spit out a gem every once in a while, hey man, whatever. But anyway, man, you know.
Oh, hell no.
You know, somebody's got to sign this guy up, get some
Not what I'm
blood.
saying.
And look at that right hand, man.
You said, close your eyes, don't peek.
You know,
No,
if you
but
peek-
getting back to Big Baby Anderson, man, that guy has got a future in front of him too. You know, he's always active, first of all. So anybody who knows anything about boxing, we know who the guy is. And everybody knows that he's got the Big Baby name, and you got Big Baby, the other Big Baby too, Big Baby Jared, Big Baby Miller. So you could have the battle for big babies, promote it like that, and you got a good undercard fight or a good ESPN fight. Then
You know what they should do? Yeah, they should come in. One of them should come in with a diaper, like a fake diaper. Because they're babies in it.
You know, the promotion for that is only limited by the imagination. You know,
The loser
They're
has
babies
to
in
leave
it.
the ring in a diaper.
I don't
But
even know why they call themselves Big Baby. That's crazy.
Hey, but look how he lines him up though. Look how he lines him up like he a barber. Like, yeah, let me see look how he lines him up.
I still don't believe that's real, to be honest.
No, I believe that's so real.
Oh no, that's real. That hit is real.
So wait,
That hit is
so
definitely real.
what's this? Is this a prison?
Yeah, that's
Oh,
in
yeah.
prison.
That's a fucking cell, man. That's a
Wait.
two-man cell. Look at the
Wait,
toilet bowl that's right there.
Look at the metal toilet
I can
bowl.
see the
Look
toilet.
at how
But
he dressed. Look at the cell. Look how big it is.
That's how convenient it is, man. You got your toilet bowl, your bed, shit, man.
that's fucked up, man.
That's very fucked up, but
Like,
it's
you
funny.
have to sleep.
funny
You have
as
to
a
sleep next
And
to the
they
toilet.
just carrying cell phones in there. Somebody hold.
So wait. I swear, like there's only two people in a cell. So
It's
what?
three.
Who,
No, that's me.
So,
Yeah, you got the
okay.
guy holding the camera.
America was fucked up, man. American person. Oh my god, that's crazy. Like there's three men in the same cell. Like,
Yeah.
It's made for one, but it's overcrowded.
This is a hotel? Shit.
that man.
This is a Holiday Inn?
I definitely got to do this again, but I got to go.
All right, Rob.
You guys,
Peace, Rob, man.
You
Take
can always
it easy,
go
bro.
back
Hey,
there
Rob,
and replay the video of that motherfucker getting slapped up. You can always go and look at it.
That shit is crazy, man.
Y'all got to take it easy.
Salute,
Take
brother.
it easy, Rob.
All right, Rob. But that's what should happen to anybody in the heavyweight division that get up in there out of shape. They should get the taste literally slapped out their motherfucking mouth. Like,
I mean, you look at a Turkish prison, you're calling this fucking inhumane conditions. This is the Hilton This is the Hilton Hotel. You go to the freaking prison in Iraq, man. Jesus Christ.
oh, those are in Iraq, man. You go to one in Iraq, man. It smell like straight like feet, ass, and breath.
And that's a second 2-star hotel now. You don't go to a prison.
Yeah, but places like that, yeah, they don't have no toilets. They go like a bucket in it.
And there, no, they got toilets. Yeah.
Well, no, I'm talking about Iraq and all that. They
Yeah,
got
they
buckets.
got toilets.
Nah, what, the prison in Iraq
Yeah.
and all that? Wow,
Yeah,
I'm
they got
surprised, man.
toilets. No,
I don't-
they got
I
a,
don't
it's
know.
a hole. It's a hole in the ground, and then they have it sucked out.
Oh, geez.
Oh,
They have
that's
this-
not my
The
stink,
shit
man.
goes down into a hole. They pour water down. They got a water hose. They squirt that water hose on the ass, like the water hose. They toilet paper. They squirt that on the ass. You know what I'm saying? Squirt some of that water around that damn thing. You know, make sure you get the shit around the pipes all the way down in the tank. And yeah, they go about their business. But the toilet is not the part that stinks because it has like a valve that like when nothing's coming down there, like it'll close. The part that stinks is that the amount of times they take a bath. So these you got these guys, they probably won't take a bath, like they probably get a shower like every 2 months. every 3 months, every 4 months. That's when they get a shower. They get to really clean them. They get to clean themselves. So you going up in there. It's hot outside. They ain't got no AC, but the air coming in from the outside. So it's like 100 degrees in there, and you smelling ass, feet, breath, and underpits. Yeah, I've been there. I know.
So these guys don't have it as bad as it could be. I mean, this is the Hilton Hotel.
Yo, yeah, this is yeah
of the world.
Yeah. And the one that Martha Stewart went to, that's something else. That's like a that's like $1 million a night.
No, that's crazy, man. To me, I don't know, man. I don't want to go prison, man. Fuck that, man. Fuck that, man.
Mo Boxes said he go to prison. He had more yards than O.J. Simpson in there running.
I'll probably go crazy if I would have went to prison, man. I would be paranoid. I would be absolute paranoid. Because the stuff that you see like on TV and all that, like, you know what I mean? Like, what they show you on TV, like, fucking hell, man. And then you see that guy beating that guy up, like, on your screen. Like, that confirms everything, man.
No, I don't confirm it. He got caught snitching. He got caught telling, like what is it supposed to? Was he like? He's not getting stabbed. He's not getting told to do the unthinkable. You know what I'm saying? He's getting slapped. He's getting slapped the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? Look at him. He's winding up.
So wait. So let me ask you a question. That's probably not even the only punish as well, the only slap. He's probably doing it more and more and more. We don't know what happened after that, because if you play the video now, like, you probably raped the guy, man. Fucking hell, man. Disgusting, man.
You don't even want to know what's going on in there, Mo.
You
know, these
horrendous, man.
guys did bad things, so that's where they belong. You know, we're lucky we're not there. You know, I've never been incarcerated myself. I know a lot of people who have. Man, they get together and they start trading stories, and you hear all these things that go on there, and you know, you know, it's crazy. You know, and I've been there to visit these guys, and you know, 20 years ago, 25 years ago, the prisons were pretty much run by the inmates. You know, around here it was the mob, and you know, you could bring your buddies sandwiches from Riccardi's, or you could bring pizza up there, or hot weenies, whatever the case may be. But guards were paid off. You know, the place was loaded with drugs. My buddies were telling me they got higher in there than they got when they got out. But you know, it changed when the feds took over. The Republicans, Ronald Reagan era came, and they started building prisons, and they were into incarceration, and you know, things changed, and they're like that. They had to get 2 or 3 people to these cells that were built for one person. And I don't know anybody who's been in and out recently. I'm just talking about you know, the OGs that I know. But I can see this happening, and then I can see life going right back to normal. You know, once this guy gets himself woken up and cleaned up. But that's a way of life in there. You know, you gotta live over there. You know, they tell me, my buddies told me it's a world where you just smell a lot of iron and you smell a lot of steel. You know, the word "I'm sorry" is not spoken. Excuse me. You keep your eyes forward. You keep your mouth shut, and you know, you do your time. And that's what everybody else is doing. You punk out, you rat out, and you end up like one of these guys. And you know, I don't do anything that's going to put me in that situation. Knock on wood, and pray to God I never end up there. But
Man, it's crazy,
funny,
man.
It's funny though that little clip there, that 130 seconds is one of the funniest things. I sent that to so many people, and they laughed like hell. They said they'll laugh at awake thinking about this.
That is absolutely savage, man. That's savage, man. I was watching a documentary on Netflix earlier about America, like the war on drugs, and people were going to prison, man. It's crazy, man.
Okay, look at his feet. Y'all see his feet? Just look at his feet. He literally picks this nigga up off his feet. Look, just look at his feet. Look. You see it? See his feet? You see his feet? He lifts him up off his feet.
Julian White's feet do the same thing when he gets the uppercut from Povetkin.
Exactly. It's just like Dillian White, man. The whoopily, the whoopily legs.
No, he lift him up off his feet. Like, look at his toes. Like he skips. Like, blow. Blow. This shit don't get old. I'm sorry.
You know what? Yeah, no human should be treated like that. Like,
This shit
you know
don't
what I
get
mean?
old.
He's better off. He's better off like.
Yeah, but that was open hand too. He didn't even punch him. If he punched him, he would have fucking squashed his head. He bitch slapped him.
No, if you watch the video, he like, all right, man, close your eyes, because you know if you flinch, if I don't hit it right, I get another one. He's like, come on, man, you ain't gonna hit me in the nose, is you? He's like, I'm not gonna hit you in the nose, I promise. He's like, so close your eyes, don't flinch.
I sent a copy of that to the OG yesterday. He literally did 10 minutes of his show laughing so hard today talking about that.
Oh,
Yeah.
who?
The OG, man, KQKC.
He did.
Oh yeah, man. He did 10 minutes of his show on that. It was dude, that's to some people, myself included, that's one of the funniest things we've seen on the internet in a long time.
Yeah, that right there was. I couldn't stop watching it because, like, first of all, I knew the dude fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Whether or not he gets it again, it's like that stay cold. Like if you snitching is like snitching in prison is one of the worst things you could do. The worst. Another thing you could not do is not mind your fucking business. That's another thing that's bad in prison. When you read the actual initial video, it says caught snitching, and I'm pretty sure he was, because if he wasn't, he wouldn't stand there and take that. Like me personally, we were just gonna have to fight. And whatever happens. Because I'm already looking at it like you too heavy to stand up on your own too. You ain't got no balance. So once you hit the flow, it's a wrap. Once he hit the flow, it's a wrap.
Oh yeah. No, it's ruled by strength in there, and rats run rampant in the place. Just a friend of mine told me when he got out, another guy from my town. They were good friends, but the guy who ended up. Excuse me for 1 second here. My wife's going to bed. Just gotta give my wife a good kiss. She's going to bed.
Yeah, you better warm that bit
Good
up.
night, baby.
Good night. You better go up there and warm that bit up, boy.
It's always warm, man. We got to put the fire out in that baby.
What time is it up there, Bruce?
Oh, it's 9:30, just about. It's still pretty early.
Oh yeah, me and Bruce
very early.
Me and Bruce in the same time zone then.
But anyway,
that's Eastern time, right? Eastern time.
Yeah. Eastern Standard. But just getting back to that little story I had, one of the guy's brother was a guard, and he used to go on work release. So he was considered shaky. They thought he was a rat, but nobody could prove it. Anyway, on New Year's Eve, he gave my buddy something, a little bit of drug to do, and he didn't do it because he didn't trust this guy. And the very next day, they called him for a random piss test, and it was like, whoa! And word got out, and I heard some stories, and it's an ugly place to be. And this guy ended up doing his 2 years in protective custody because he couldn't be around general population because they were going to beat the shit out of him because stitches get snitches, and that's snitches get stitches. It's late at night, and I've been doing a lot of bongs, so you got to excuse me.
That's all good. Yeah, man.
Not late in the day. I start early, man. I'm a wake and bake kind of a guy, man.
Yeah, that's too.
To me, it's just both the same thing. Stitches and snitches, it's all the same shit, man. You get me? Like, at the end of the day, though, like if I was that guy, like I'm with Mike on that one. Like I would try and fight him because the dude is big.
Nah, you can't do it, man. It's a population. That guy got a break, man. He got that break to get that one slap.
Oh, okay. So if you fight him, you're gonna get a lot worse because he's not.
First of all, look at the guy. It's not even going to be a fight. That's a lightweight fighting a heavyweight. There's no fight there. And if he doesn't take that slap, he walks out that door, man. Like you said, he's getting fucked in the ass. That's going to be a way of life for him. So take that slap, man. Take the slap.
Yeah, because like over here, Mo, it's like depending on what you get, man. If you get out, man, you're on parole like for fucking years, man. Like you fuck up once, like they send you fucking back. You know what I'm saying? Like you can fuck up like let's say a traffic infraction. You know what I'm saying? And you know out here you get on you get on parole or probation. You know you can't smoke, you can't drink, you can't be in the vicinity of certain people. They catch you there, you're going back. If they're a parole officer, probation or whatever you want to call them, don't like you, you're going back.
Why though?
Yeah.
America, you know what? Yeah, America compared to the UK when it comes to like the law, like the criminality, like it sounds like you guys, your law is like very, very harsh, man. Like
Well, it's the politicians, man. The
it's harsh, man.
politicians like to show numbers. They like to show incarceration numbers. They like to show the taxpayer dollars that built the prisons have got the capacity and need more dollars because those dollars are paying off contractors who are mafia run, dude. It's a business. The prison system is a business, and we're the fucking people who go in there, and we're the cogs that keep the wheel turning. But believe me, Mo Boxing, this is big business. The prison. It's not just a bad guy getting caught with some marijuana in his pocket or stealing a car or even killing somebody. This is run from the top down, man. You can get away with murder in this country. You look at Jeffrey Epstein's, man. You look at the people who are getting away with murder, literally, or the shit going on. The hush money, people that are hushing. This is so big, and prisons are a huge business complex. They even have them privatized, where they have outside companies come in, build them. And some states have prisons run by private entities, where they sell the food. They buy the food wholesale. They hire the workers. They got the insurance coverage. It's big business, man. You get into this, it's to the point where you don't even want to get into this. There's so much red tape and there's so much money handed over hand, because you got to remember, this is all paid for by the tax dollar. So this is all money given by politicians. It's crooked. It's crooked, man. Michael, you must know that.
And then you have different states as well. And then you have different states,
like
different laws.
We have the federal prison system, and every state has their own prison system.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah, man, it's that's how it is, man. You get locked up over here, man. It's a difference. If you go to jail, that's different. You do like maybe a year or something like that in jail, that's different. But you hit them prisons, man. But some of them jails just as worse as prison, or even worse.
Do you know what? Yeah,
politicians in prison, doctors for overprescribing in prison. They got to get numbers in there. These judges want to get reappointed, man. I had a state representative who lived half dozen houses from me. He got caught doing something escrow with a will, channeling money to his own personal account. He had to do 3 years in federal prison. He told me it was like a picnic in there. He said it was like Boy Scout camp when he was a kid. But it's taxpayer dollars paying. They're paying $90,000 per inmate to the prison system. So you had that up, man.
That's not where. But those prisons he was talking about, that's not where me and Bruce is going.
Hell no. And Rhode Island, they put you at the
ACI. What's the difference though? Wait, what's that prison called where your friend went?
The difference is where you have money, Mo. It's if you have money.
Okay.
That's right there.
In England, basically all prisons are practically the same. But like there are some dangerous prisons, but compared to the American ones, like I would rather go to the English dangerous ones, the ones that you just have to fight, and then once you fight a couple of times, they leave you alone. But your prison, wow, you have to fight every day until you're released.
Nah, it's not like that. Like all of them, like some prisons.
Some of them, it's like old homecoming. You go in there, you see the homeboys. It's a different world. Some people are institutionalized and get in and get out because, like Michael was saying, it's a hot. You get that tag on you, and it's tough to get a job. You have to see a parole officer. You have to abstain from even smoking weed. You can't drink. It's. You get a 1 year sentence, man. It's almost like a life sentence. Your voting you can't vote in a lot of elections. You can't run for public office. You got that A on your forehead, man. You have to almost start from the beginning. And I admire people who can that are rehabilitated and can start a business or even hold a job, because it's hard for these guys, man. It's a revolving door. You know, it's sad, man. It really is.
Yeah, so Mo, this is how it is over here. You go to jail and you go to prison. Let's say, for instance, you there for like maybe 2-3 years, right? You get out, you could be on like a year, 2, 3, 4, 5 of parole or probation, and you can't drink, you can't associate with any gang members, you can't associate with any other people that's in the same category what you went to prison for, and trying to find a job. Yeah, okay, yeah, you gonna have to you like trying to find a job, like it's tough for some of these guys. Like they can't even get a job at McDonald's. You know what I'm saying? And
McDonald's. Wow.
yeah, you can't even get a job. Like let's say for instance um let's say for instance you go for drugs or stealing something or wire fraud or something like that. Wire fraud is a big one. Good luck finding a job. Don't nobody want no thief working for him or some dude selling drugs or a drug addict or murderer. You know what I'm saying? Good luck finding a job. So guess what they do? They go right back to what they know. Because guess what? Everybody got to get money. Everybody got to get paid. People got kids, probably got a wife, whatever the case may be. Now, some people, I think they should be casted from society. You know what I'm saying? If you're a pedophile, you should just be like them untouchables over there in India, just like them, living in the gutter. You know what I'm saying? Get your ass up out of here.
I think for those type of people, the pedophiles, they should get the death penalty. They should class that as a murder, because they're gonna offend again. You know what I mean? They're gonna offend again. It's a disease, it's an illness. So people like that, like I don't think there's a place for them in the world. But speaking about comparing the UK, like prisoners that come out, they what I mean, they get a job. What I mean, they change their lives around. Some of them, of course, some of them go back. But with you guys, I understand why they go back to the crime, because there's no money. You're gonna have to sell dope or whatever. You know what I mean? But it's how your system is designed, man. They want you to go back.
Yeah, no, it's a hard existence, and getting education in there and being on work release, that helps a lot, because these, like Mike was saying, man, money is the thing. You have to pay your rent. That's the bottom line. Nobody's going to pay that rent for you, and if you're not making it legally, and you can learn some good trades in prison. I know people personally myself who have come out as electricians, and one of my buddies went in. He was just a wanderer. He came out. He was an electrician. This was in the 70s. He's retired now. He came to my house a few months ago and did an electrical job for me, which is tough to do now. We didn't want people in here with the COVID. But anyway, he's retired. He gets about $4,000 a month in a pension, and money's just not a problem. He's straight. He's living the good life. He's a photographer. He gets up early in the morning. He did a side job for me that would have probably cost at least $500-600 for $100. And prison did this guy good, because he was going nowhere. He was a walking zombie. And he belonged in prison for a while. It's a sad thing to say, but there are some crimes that you do that you gotta pay you gotta do the time for. And I don't want to go through my specific ones, but he did one and he did his time. He came out a better man, and that's a success story. That's the way it should be. But there's other stories where other people who I have known or who I've heard about who got out and couldn't adjust. They couldn't pay the bills. They got back into dealing. They got back into jacking people up. They got hidden stores, cars, whatever it may be. But they always go back in jail, because these days, man, you can't get away from anything. The cameras are everywhere. DNA. You get nailed with a crime you committed 10 years ago, because somebody's gonna find a hair of yours back on the crime scene. Dude, you gotta be on your toes these days, and especially if you don't have the bread to pay these lawyers and stuff, because it's like I'm telling Mo, the judicial system, the prison system, it's the biggest fucking business in this country, man. It's bigger than boxing, believe me. And
When did that
boxing-
change, though? Of course, it's bigger than boxing because boxing is, it's a small little industry. But when did that change, though? When did that law like specifically change in America? Is it because of the crime on drugs or something?
Bruce. I mean, sorry, Mo. This is how it always been. Prisons
What,
have
day
always,
one?
yeah.
No.
Listen. Hear me out.
I thought it was the crime on drugs.
Hear me out.
Like,
No,
the
hear
war on
me
drugs.
out. Hear me out.
We'll get our turns.
Hear me out. But this is the way it was all this time. Prisons were always privatized. It was always some individual owned the fucking prisons. You know what I'm saying? In turn, the guy who owns the fucking prison, in some cases, it was the fucking mayor, or it's the guy that was running the town. He owned the fucking prison. Because prisons are always brought money, because guess what? You hire people up in there. You can funnel money through there. You can wash money through there. That's what folks was doing back in the days. They was washing money through the prisons. They have workshops in there, making stuff, having these guys work in factories, having these guys work in the farm fields, having these guys put down railroad tracks. They always had something to do within these states and then within these communities. But most of the prisons, even back in the days, in the 1800s and the 1900s, they were privatized. Now what happened was they got it to where, they get the contracts. Is going to be the big part of it. The contracts for the facility, the contracts for getting these doctors up in there, the drugs, the medical equipment, the food, the food, not just the food, but the food equipment, the shit to cook the food, the shit the light bulbs, the stuff that they use, the cleaning stuff, all the way down to the towels, the shoes, the commissary, the shit that the inmates could buy, the collect phone calls they got to buy phone cards for, but in turn the people on the outside get charged for picking it up for like $1 a minute. Ain't that right, Bruce? So
yeah, well, now it's with smuggled cell phones. That's changed a little bit.
But you know what I'm saying?
I know exactly what you're saying. And I go ahead.
So when you look at it, all this money is coming into prisons. And so now what happened was the guy who running into prison got some homeboys who went to these private little high schools or private colleges. You know what I'm saying? That all the rich folk went with. That's part of his like little alumni that they from the same city, right? And now he's on this board or whatever. And he's like, hey man, blah blah woo woo woo, blah, 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 blah. So now that even brings more in. And then guess what happens? Now you got prisons out there that sign contracts with the state to where the state has to pay the prison extra money if they're not at 90% capacity as far as inmates. That's why in America you don't even out of all the prisons in America, you rarely hear about them going on you closing due to money.
Oh yeah. Let me tell you my take on that. I go back to where I grew up, in the 80s when Ronald Reagan was elected. Now, I remember going back to Jimmy Carter, and Jimmy Carter was a very lenient guy, and Jimmy Carter was into work release, into cutting down the prison system, into shrinking it. And Ronald Reagan got in on the platform of no drugs, just say no, arrest them, any amount.
His wife brought that up, innit? That was his wife. Reagan's wife.
Yeah, the whole family. But anyway, the bottom line there was that cocaine, it was just coming around, but all of a sudden the crack cocaine epidemic hit, and it was hit on the black community because powdered cocaine, you could have a couple of grams of it, and if you converted that to crack cocaine, it became a felony. It became more, and you had these automatic mandatory sentencings. What they had, the judges had no control over the sentencing because they were mandatories. You had this amount of cocaine, powdered or crack, and you had to do 7 years. They were ridiculous sentences. These 16-year-old kids, 17-year-old kids getting 10 years, 15 years, and prisons became overcrowded. And that was the thing. The voters liked that, man. They voted on that, and they reelected him again. And man, it was a shame. The prisons a place that was once reserved for criminals, for people who hurt other people, literally stole, murdered, raped. It was not. It was now 90% people in there for drugs, and federal was even worse. The federal drug system was mandated, where small amounts they didn't matter. It was mandated that you had to serve time, and federal prisons became overcrowded. It's just becoming turned around. It's happening. It's been happening for the last 30 years or so, but there was a time there where they had these mandatory minimums, and it was a huge thing, and it's what overcrowded the prisons, and it's what tore the black community apart. And I know I lived through that. I saw that, and I'm seeing it happening today.
You know
Anybody
George Bush, yeah? You know George Bush, not the young one, the older one, the dad. Like
Yeah.
when he took over after Reagan, yeah, like he planned a setup to for a black guy, to sell drugs outside the White House, and then do you remember that, Bruce? Did you see
Yeah, it
that?
says
There were all
When-
kind of crazy
he didn't.
stories.
It wasn't. I'm not.
and
I'm
he
not
was
gonna,
holding the drugs himself, like, and saying like, "Look
I
what they
don't.
done outside the White House.
I don't think it
Look what they
was.
done. We need to crack down on them."
Yeah, but I don't think it was. It might have just been convenience that that's the way it went down. But
No. This is a true story. Like I watched
I
a
watched
documentary on
I
Netflix.
watched it before. I watched what you're
The
talking
officer
about.
came out and he said, "I've
Yeah,
done it."
I
Like,
watched what you was
what I mean?
talking about. I watched what you was talking about, and the guy even questioned the guy before they even did it. He's like, I do it all the time, but that's how it was back in the days. You know what I'm saying? But he's an idiot for even going there and doing that. You know what I'm saying? But Reagan was bringing in the dope. I mean, he was
Yeah, because
bringing
he
in the
had a deal with
cocaine.
it. He had a deal with Nicaragua
It was
No, it was-
to help them.
Contras. It was drugs for money, and then it was money for arms. It was a huge thing back in the day, Mo and Mike. I'm sure you remember it. There were the hearings, the Contra Iran hearings.
Iran, yeah.
It was crazy, man, because it was a triangle, and it showed how powerful the spying agency was internally in the United States. How it was done under our nose, documents being destroyed, stuff happening in just like out of a spy movie that they're talking about on the witness stand. Because now this is all being televised to us. So it was a crazy time, man. But the prisons weren't reserved for these people. These people were white collar criminals, man. They got a slap on the wrist. They got fined and they walked. It was the guy in the corner who had a couple of grams of crack cocaine in his pocket who got busted, who ends up doing 15 years. And that's what fucked up the prison system. That's why it's still fucked up today, man.
And
It's
Bill Clinton made it worse. Bill Clinton, yeah, he was even worse than George Bush and Reagan.
no, he
Bill
wasn't.
Bill Clinton was
No, he wasn't.
kind of ignorant. He was not a bad guy, but he had a Republican Congress against him who was still in the Reagan era, and Bill Clinton couldn't really do anything. If Bill Clinton wrote a bill down, it was amended, and it was not the bill that he presented, but that there was a terrible drug bill that was signed while he was president, and they're using that now, saying that the current president was involved in that. But I think Clinton he skated through. We were in conflicts. We weren't in major wars. But when Republicans get in there, I think the country goes in a downhill spine. And right now we just got rid of the craziest one of them all, in my opinion. And
To be honest, I think they're all crazy. I think even in the UK, like all parties are crazy, man. All parties.
But they're the puppet masters. There's nothing we can do, man. They can press the buttons. They can end it all. They basically run the show, and we can live our lives as isolated and comfortably as we want. But ultimately, man, it's those world leaders who run the show.
I mean,
Absolutely, man. That's what they're doing.
But that's the reason. That's why it is like that. This is the reason why it's like that. You can't have like a whole bunch of rich people that never been broke before a day in their motherfucking life, try to tell somebody that's fucking fucking poor how they should live their life. You know what I'm saying? And that's how the way these guys do their thing. You know what I'm saying? All the way down to Reagan and the war on drugs, or you know, the COINTELPRO, or you can keep going on the list of things. You can look at these gun laws they're trying to pass. You can look at all this stuff they're even trying to do now. It's all geared towards a whole bunch of people. Look, let me tell you something, right? How the fuck you gonna give somebody unemployment for COVID, right? You're gonna give somebody unemployment for COVID, but you're going to tax that unemployment. But that money is coming from the federal government. So then in turn, it goes right back to them. Doesn't make any sense. So like, you're going to give somebody literally a COVID relief, but then tax them. If they don't know any difference to take the money out, get the money taken out every month, then when they go and file taxes, now they're going to owe money that they can't fucking pay, right? So, you know, a lot of this shit that goes on over here is all a bunch of ill-advised people. It's like, that's the reason why you need something called diversity. And when you don't have fucking diversity, that's the reason why you have things like this. There shouldn't be no multi-party system or a two-party system, whatever they want to call it, because then that when you have stuff like that, right? It's like nothing's never going to get done. You know what I'm saying? It's like they plan. Nothing's never going to get done because everybody is too fucking worried about is they going to keep it? Is they going to be, if they don't ride for their party, this is what's going to happen. That's the reason
what
why.
About thingy then? What about Obama when he was in charge? Because you still got the same rules. Like it's like they're all in it together, man. They're all one
He
team.
couldn't pass nothing.
No, Obama was in a real hard situation, man. You know, he had a knee on his back. He couldn't pass anything. He had good intentions and he tried his best and he did a lot. He did a lot for the people, but he just couldn't pass anything, man. He had the Congress against him. He had the House against him, the Senate.
I think America is doomed when it comes to law. I think.
No, it's not doomed when it comes to that. The problem is it's just crazy, like it's just like when we get up here and we talk about boxing. You know what happens? Everybody want to be worried about the fucking wrong thing instead of the task at hand. You know what I'm saying? Because no matter who's in fucking office, right? No matter who's in fucking office, if everybody's worried about the fucking wrong thing, see, like, look, what Bruce is trying to tell you is them motherfuckers is capitalists, and now they gone. They're fucking capitalists. They don't give a fuck who's broke. They capitalists. They don't give a fuck what kind of damage they do. It's just all about when he's out of office, how much money is he gonna keep getting? While he's in office, how much money is he gonna keep getting? They're capitalists. They ain't worried about nobody. Then when they gone, they want to blame everything on a Democrat. Just like the same thing Democrats gonna do with Republicans. But it's just like boxing. At the end of the day, we still all in the same boat. We still getting fucked over. We still not getting the fights we want. We're still not getting the laws that we want. We're still not getting the tax breaks that we want. But we keep talking about all this shit that don't matter.
That's a fact, man. You know, it's so hard to even talk about politics and you know, talk about the way the system is run. Where we have to run ourselves, man. We have to make sure that our family's fed, that we have, you know, that our bills are paid. You know, we have to be active. You know, I like being active in this internet community here, man, and it's like such a world away from the real world of politics out there. And man, I don't get involved in that. I don't want to get involved in that, man. The guy that I deal with for my health insurance, he was running on a state level for a state representative, and you know, he wanted to put a sign in front of my house. I said, buddy, no. First of all, the guy that he's running against is a guy that I went to high school with, which I think he should be voted out anyway. But I know if I put a sign in front of my house, I would be involved in bullshit, and it's just I don't want to get involved in that, man. I'm trying to keep my own little world afloat, and it's hard to do, and to support other people that I want to help out. And you got these politicians that have straws, and we're just a big drink, and they're trying to suck everything out of us. And it really is a game to try to avoid all that bullshit. And I don't know how it is over there, Mo Boxing, but around here, Michael will tell you, man, we're a country of haves and have-nots.
No, Al Bush said it's the haves and the have mores.
Okay.
Yeah, basically.
That's crazy, man. That's crazy,
Yeah,
man.
they
It's
fucked us
like I don't
hard.
know, but you know what though? Like, why can't you guys like the UK and the US? Sometimes there's a lot of similarity, but
Yeah, it's one in the
when it
same.
comes to certain thing like your law, like and your states, I just think like America, yeah, like you got so many different states that it's not even one country. But you know what I mean? So it can't really be a country because it's like a what do you call it? A continent. America is a continent,
No,
really.
no, yeah. Well, but
It's
you
a
have to
continent. Look
understand.
how huge it
No,
is.
Well,
no,
we're the divided
no,
states of America, man. You know
yeah.
that.
But let me tell you
Yeah.
something. Actually, it's called a republic. But what I'm trying to tell you is that it is a country. What you have to understand is almost most of the laws that these states has, like they're either ordinances or there's something to enhance the already federal law or a law that the federal law doesn't have. You know what I'm saying? Because the states have ordinances for all their the roads, driver's license, and all that stuff, right? But now some of these states you can get away with fucking 16-year-old girls. In some of these states, you can even get away with
True.
fucking
Yeah, but
15-year-olds.
Michael,
True.
I'll tell you
But-
something. Though, you know, we're a country of states and different rules. But when it comes to a national crisis, like when 9/11 happened, when another country is on our ass, you see how fast we get together, black, white, yellow, or brown, man. We're
Wait.
Americans at heart. Am I
But-
not right on that one, bro?
Yeah, guns
But
and
I want to ask you,
everything.
I want to ask you guys a question though. Even though it's different states, yeah, why is it that you got one president that's running the whole America?
That's the way it's always been, man.
You got one person. You got one person, right? Running the show. Then each and every
How much
state.
power has he got?
Then each,
How much
each,
power has he got?
each and every state
Yeah, but you
doesn't have as much as you think.
No. The reason the states have the power is to keep the federal government in check. You know, the Constitution was built that never to give one person. The president is not like the King of England, and he's in constant check, man. He's got the judicial branch, he's got the executive branch, and plus he's got every state government that have equal power. So that's why this is a democracy, man. It's supposed to be ideally.
We got a queen though, like, but our queen.
We don't have that, man. We have.
No,
we
No,
have
no, no, no. But listen though,
There's a figurehead.
Bruce, the queen don't have no power though.
Yeah, she has no power. She's just a figurehead. They have the.
We got a prime minister. We got a prime minister, which is similar to the president.
What do you have?
Okay.
You have a House of Lords and a House of Commons, right?
Yeah, the House on the
Who's
Westminster.
that over
Yeah.
there? Tyrone, man, how you doing, bro?
Hey, what's going on,
How
Bruce?
you doing, Tyrone, man?
All on Tyrone.
Yeah, but
I didn't
who's-
even realize you was here. I wasn't
the,
looking at the screen.
Sorry, man. I mean, either was I.
He left. Who's the prime? Is he still Boris Johnson?
No,
yeah.
Boris Johnson. Yeah, he's been prime minister for like a year and a half now. But we change our prime minister every 2 to 3 years. You know, whenever there's like some sort of disagreement, they say let's vote. Like they, you know, what I mean, and then we get a different prime minister. But the UK is simple. The Queen don't have no more power. The kingdom are still there, but they got no power. It's just like a fashionable thing. It's just a bit of a respect, but she's got no power whatsoever. But apparently, some people say, you know, she's a Mason and she's got the power, but she's not letting it all out.
They've got
You
the
know what I
same
mean?
federal setup we have, pretty much, but they're states, or you have counties, of course. They're not as in charge as our states, or they don't have the same amount of power as our states. Only because our states are so much bigger. Like the problem is, like we can go. I'm in Maryland, right? You can go over to something like California. There's totally different places, or something like Alabama or Texas is totally different from like Oregon.
And that's
It
the
is,
thing, man.
Dude, I got pulled over when I was driving. I got pulled over in Maine, which is not far from where I live. But the cop started reading me off the charges, and the last thing he said to me, and he says, "Plus, you got out-of-state plates on that car."
What?
Yeah.
Plus, you got out-of-state plates on that car, dude. Right there, I said that I'm fucked. There's nothing I could say. He had me.
You're
pulled
your country, man.
Dude, he had me pulled over for a half hour, and I would not give him consent to search my car. And he said he was going to get dogs there and this and that. And I said, but you don't have the right to search my car because there's no reason you pulled me. And we went back and forth, and he got fucking mad as a motherfucker. And he says, you just get in that car and you just get the fuck out of here and don't let me see. Because we have constitutional rights, but we also have assholes that are enforcing these constitutional rights. So there's that fine line, man. You have to survive yourself around here.
Yeah, but the police are not like that no more, though. The police in the
The
UK,
police are like that around here. There are good guys and bad guys, and one bad apple will spoil the whole bunch, man.
in the UK, it used to be like that. About, I would say, maybe even 10 years ago, it used to be like that. But now, like, they're completely behaving now, because if they cross the line now, they can lose their job now. But back in the day, they had immunity. They could do a lot to you. They can like slap you. They can do a lot of things to you. Like now, they can't do shit to you no more, because now, with this Black Lives Matter movement and all that sort of stuff, they won't dare to even, like, as a black person, they won't even pull you over nowadays anymore.
But Mo,
unless there's like a viable thing that you've done. If you've done something crazy,
you have to understand. Like, at one point, they had the police shook over here. You know what I'm saying? Like, we had the police shook. Like, there's parts in LA they wouldn't go to, parts in San Diego they wouldn't go to, parts in New York, Maryland. Some of these spots they wouldn't go to.
But that's not respect, though. That's not respect. Shook. That's the difference with shook.
No. Wait a minute. Shook and respect. Let me tell you something. When somebody doesn't respect you, and the only thing they do is give you physical abuse and stuff like that, because they know now they can get away with it, and there's nothing you can do about it. You got to give them something. You got to give them something to get off your ass, whether that's respect, because they don't give a fuck what you do to get the respect. They just gonna take it. So you gotta
if they see you a different place, they're gonna get you, though. That's the thing, though.
Yeah,
they might not come to the area, but if they see you on the outskirts, they'll get you.
Guess what? Guess what? That's the thing. That's the beauty about it. Then when your ass show up again, or one of your boys show up again to the wrong spot, they get you.
Okay, can I give you a personal experience with that, man? I was always a wild guy when I grew up. I always had head butts with the cops. But then I got older. I knew that was going to get me nowhere.
Yeah.
I got myself together, and what I did for many years, I was into nutrition, and I was a personal trainer. So anyway, my job was at a gym, and this gym was loaded with cops. They hung together, prison guards, police chiefs, captains. I mean, when I first walked in there, I said, man, I'm in a barbecue. I'm looking around, I see blue everywhere. But then
the whole lot.
Not the whole lot, but a lot of them, and they'd hang out together. And these guys, if they worked at night, they'd pump iron during the day, then went to bed. And anyway, I was a personal trainer. I was a big guy. I was working out with them. I got to know these guys on a personal level, and they're just like us, but yet they don't get any respect because they have this cop thing about them, which being a cop, you got to have a cop thing, and they can't get along really with anybody else except other cops, and they hang together. I was in that world by being a trainer, and they were asking me for advice on nutrition and how to lift this and different exercises. But I got to the point where I was going to cookouts if one of them would have a few towns over, and I'd be fucking wasted and drunk, and they'd call up and say, hey, this guy's leaving in other towns. Don't touch him. He's been partying with us. They even had a number for it. And I'd be, hey guys, see you later. There'd be 3 or 4 police chiefs there with their wives, and I'd be there with my wife. And it was a clique. And that's the way it was. They're not bad people, but yet they become what they have to become because they're in a tough environment. These guys are at home living upper middle class at night, but yet they go into a jungle, and these guys, they can't control themselves. They have like that cop disease to them, which is why I could never be a cop. I can't put my finger on it, but I can see it, and I don't fuck with them, man. But they don't fuck with me either, and they don't bother me at that point in my life. Right now, I don't really get involved with them. I don't go to the gym like I was every day. I'm retired, but there are a certain group of people, and that includes the prison guards, the cops, the patrolmen, the brass, everything. They all hang together. They're like a family, and I'm just telling you that way. You fuck with one of them, it's like you fuck with all of them. It was a weird experience.
Yeah, I think all the motherfuckers is weird, and the reason why I think they weird is because let me tell y'all something, man. I had the chance to go to be in Iraq twice, man, and I never seen anybody abuse a detainee. Never seen it. Never had them, try to run their head into a wall or not feed them. Not let them take a shit. Nothing. Fuck with their food, spit in their water. Nothing. Right? Some of these guys, some of these guys are terrorists. Some of these guys they just trying to figure it out. But but I ain't never seen that shit. But time and time again, we see it on TV. Motherfuckers abusing their power. Never seen nobody fucking been outside the wire countless times. Ain't never seen nobody get abused. Ain't never seen nobody abuse they fucking power or anything like that over somebody. Ain't never seen it. And we even had orders to learn, like, you can't shoot at someone unless they shoot at you first. You know what I'm saying? And we heard about people on the main base getting kicked out and sent to Leavenworth for shooting somebody that didn't shoot at them for real life shit. And just to hear these excuses they make, and that you got this blue wall of silence or whatever, and to where they put themselves first above the law and try to protect each other, even though they know they in the wrong. In the military, fuck, they don't give a fuck. Ain't nobody, no. You guilty until proven innocent. If you have anything against you, you gonna have to prove whether or not you're what somebody got to say to you is wrong. Ain't nobody over there is gonna have no blue wall of silence or anything like that for you.
No policeman's bill of rights.
Yeah, none of that. Oh, we got somewhat of bill of rights, but
but you know what the cops have, man. It's pretty much silence once they get busted.
Yeah, but with us, nah, bro, it ain't like that. You know what I'm saying? They get told not to snitching. You hear about all the time. Snitching on each other is not a good thing for your career, but in the service, oh, you can snitch all day. Ain't nobody going to give a fuck. Nobody. Actually, they prefer you snitch. All right, let me give you a story. Right? You live in the barracks, right? You got two people per room in the barracks. You each got your own closet. You guys share a refrigerator. You of age, drinking age, right? You forgot to close your closet all day, and your closet has some alcohol in there. Your roommate gets into your goddamn bottle and drinks it, right? You come back, you see the bottle was empty. You question the guy, blah blah blah, woo woo. He goes to work with alcohol in his breath, and he gets caught, and he says, "Oh, I drank my roommate's alcohol." Guess who's getting in trouble? Not only is the overage guys getting in trouble for the underage guy drinking it, but he's also getting in trouble for not snitching on him. Ain't that about a bitch?
It's fucked up, man.
Yeah, for real. It's like, them motherfuckers don't snitch on your ass in the quickness. And that's why I hear stories and shit. I'd be like, man, y'all, I ain't never seen some of the shit that people be talking about. And some people just be fucking lying anyways. So they don't get no respect. People can say whatever they want to. I seen liars. I seen fucking liars. Most of the time the liars, they get away with it. The people who tell the truth, them the motherfuckers that don't. The liars. And with the complexion for the protection.
I watched that movie. I watched that movie. Rosewood. Like, is a true story. I don't know if you guys watched it. It's an old movie back in.
Yeah.
Not really that old actually. It's only 24 years old. Back in 1997. But It's a true story about the woman that said a black guy raped her.
Yeah.
But she was cheating on her husband every single afternoon. You know, different guy. Sleeps with her, and then one day she sleeps with the wrong guy, and he beats the shit out of her. And there's no way of her explaining to her husband what happened to her. So she yells outside and says, "Oh, I got raped!" And she obviously doesn't say a black guy. She says the N word. Yeah, she calls him the N word. And then after that, the whole town goes crazy. And that's in Florida. It actually happened. A place called Rosewood. It's in Florida. It's crazy, man. It was mayhem. I don't know. Did you watch it, Mike?
Yeah, but that's what happens, man. That's why
Did
I
you watch
laugh
it,
at
Bruce?
people.
Did you watch that movie, Bruce?
I did. I don't remember it as well as you do, but man, it's real life around here, dude.
You should watch it again, man. That movie's gonna get you mad.
I'm not watching that shit, but that's the
It's
reason why I
horrible,
like
man.
when I hear these ladies talking
Oh,
about Bill
God.
Cosby did this and Bill Cosby did that in the 60s. I just look at them as like, nah, no way in hell a black man raped a white woman in the 60s and got away with it. Because you were
No
scared.
way. Listen,
No
no way.
fucking way.
Black
Dude,
people back then
they were with Bill
scared.
Cosby. They were unzipping his fly for Christ's sakes, and he raped them. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I was. And then one of the guys gonna be like, well, after the 20th person came out, he had to done. I was like, all their stories sound the same. And I was like, you mean to tell me this dude? See, this is the part that gets me. First of all, the part that gets me, the Bill Cosby show didn't come out until like what the 80s, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
And Quaaludes was big in the 70s.
Yeah, they stopped making Quaaludes in '82, if I recall.
So so this whole time, so you guys trying to use the American Doctor thing to equate to him playing doctor in the 60s. In the 60s. Right? 65 and 62 is a
Believe me, Bill Cosby, he didn't have to knock any broad out for pussy. That he had to push him away, if anything.
That's why I don't believe in that shit, man. Like,
do you know what though? Yeah, in the 60s, I don't believe that, especially in America. Do you know why? Back then, like especially black people were very different. They were very polite. Like they were like, especially when you watch documentaries, movies, all that sort of stuff. Black people were speaking respectfully, like "yes, ma'am," like with all due respect.
Hold up now.
All that sort of stuff.
That wasn't.
It wasn't like the days like now. Like you have to remember, there's no way that happened, man. Like
no, but that depends. No, we weren't. That depends on who you was talking to, but
yeah,
in the 60s.
Yes, ma'am, and all that sort of stuff. Come on, Mike, you know that.
You can watch documentary. No, that wasn't always the case.
I heard it. I know the story, bro. I spoke to a lot of people.
I'm telling you, Mo.
I grew up in the '70s, man, and it was before AIDS. It was a free sex time, and it was everybody was it was nonviolent. And not guns weren't as much. Guns weren't even a thing back then. It was not. It was knives. It was basically a peaceful time for everybody. But as far as the sex went, man, that was a first date for sure. Second date, nah, there was no third date. That was free love days back then, man. I lived through that.
Everything was easier.
Everything was easy, man. Easy.
Because I can show you some documentaries and
nowadays it's a lot harder, Bruce.
Yeah.
No, it ain't. No, it ain't. For you, it is. But I can show you some documentaries.
No. I'm not saying it for me. I'm saying like in general, man.
I know. I was just saying. But I can show you.
But it depends who you, Mike. It depends who you go to, man. Like it's not as easy.
I'm not even talking about that right now. But I can show you documentaries, dude. That with that soft spoken stuff you talking about, that wasn't everybody. That was just the people that was talking.
Okay, what year we're talking about? What year?
In the 60s.
What about 50s? What about 40s? What about 20s?
Even in there, dude. Did you are you not listening to me?
Go for it.
Are you not listening to me? Like people weren't all this yes sir, yes ma'am. No, the fuck they weren't. That was people.
With all due respect and those type of words. You know what I mean?
You can watch old war documentaries with black folks talking. You're not going to hear that. You're not going to fucking hear that shit. And I'm telling you that. But what I'm saying is that those you gotta understand the image of us over here in the 60s and stuff like that. You had to you have to peep game with it. You know, when you hear people's speeches and stuff like that, that's different. Of course, they're gonna speak a certain way. But then you also had Dick Gregory. You know what I'm saying? And all that yes sir and yes ma'am is not in his vocabulary when it comes to white folks. But anyways, if you look at, you had like, I think it was like 3 or 4 major figures assassinated in the 60s. You know, so you had MLK, you had Malcolm X, and I forget the other guy's name. He was a
JFK.
No, I'm talking about black. Yeah, you had JFK, and then you
Martin
had.
Luther King.
I said that.
Evers.
Yeah, and then you also had the
Even Sonny Liston as well,
the Mississippi burning dudes. Those 2 brothers and the 3 white dudes.
What about Sonny Liston? Who killed him? Everybody's saying it's his wife, but I don't actually believe that.
He could have owed some money.
Okay,
Or it could be the mom.
Okay, Mo, I love you. Back to boxing over here. Sonny Liston is a beautiful place to start, man. That was the craziest thing, man. That was the early 70s. And Sonny Liston was a terror when he was a fighter, man. He was a terror. He had a left jab on him that was like somebody hitting you with 2 guys holding a telephone pole and 1 guy pushing it. Boom, boom, like Joe Joyce with finesse.
He had a long reach.
He had Sonny Liston could jump a rope like you would not believe. He could jump rope. He was an 8-1 favorite when he fought Ali. He was killing everybody. He destroyed Floyd Patterson twice in the first round. I don't even know why they had a rematch. But anyway, everybody thought Cassius Clay at the time was going to get destroyed. Nobody had faith in him except
He took
himself.
a dive, man. I think he took a dive.
No, not in the first fight.
The second fight, I mean.
The first fight was an amazing fight. Cassius Clay went out there and he took the best that Sonny Liston could give him, and he danced around. He jabbed like you would not believe. He worked on the back foot. He worked on his toes. He worked the body, the head, combinations like you wouldn't believe. And in the middle of the fight, Sonny Liston used what they call Moncel solution on his shoulder, which is an illegal. It's an illegal liniment, and it got in Cassius Clay's eyes, and he didn't want to come out there for the 6th round, for the 5th round. He cut my gloves off. I can prove this fight is fixed, and his coach, man, Dundee, was saying, no, you shut the fuck up. He's trying to wipe his eyes clean, hold his hands down. The referee's coming over. He said, everything's fine. And Dundee said he even took a little scraping of what was in Muhammad Ali's eye, put it in his own eye, and it said it burned like hell. And anyway, he was afraid because the ringside was loaded with Muslims, and Clay was just about to convert. He was in the middle of conversion, and they were afraid that there was going to be an assassination, and there was all kind of riot police on hand. But anyway, he finally danced around, and he made Sonny Liston just quit on a stool. Liston couldn't do anything else, man. Liston saw that even with his trickery didn't work. It's almost, it fits hand in hand with what's happening today. But the bully just quit on his stool, and Ali was the heavyweight champ. In the rematch, Liston realized he couldn't do anything. He had the mob was there. They had the most inexperienced referee there, who was Jersey Joe Walcott, who never refereed a heavyweight championship before or after that as the referee. And it was a show that it was supposed to be staged at the Boston Garden. Because of the bad publicity, they wouldn't let him show it. It was banned in Boston. That's where the term came around. They found a town in Maine called Lewiston, Maine, who hosted the fight, and it was a 1-round dive. People that were there said it was a dive. Other people say it was that famous anchor punch. Ali to this day says it. Well, not to this day, but till he passed away, claimed it was an anchor punch, and Angelo Dundee said the same thing. You look at it, and it just makes no sense for somebody like Sonny Liston, who was the ultimate destroyer, to go down like that. And his career was never the same. You know, he was on the circuit after that. Never a contender, and he died a mysterious death in Las Vegas. They say he was always afraid of needles, and yet they found him with a needle in his arm, and drugs strewn throughout his house. His wife was away at the time. She was away for 3 days, and she came back and said she found his body in a state of decomposition, and it's never been solved to this day. Did they rule it as a drug overdose? Other people say it was a mob hit because Sonny was involved in. He was an arm breaker for the mob. He was in Las Vegas when the mob ran Vegas, and he was well respected. He was all day hanging out at the casinos.
He was the muscle.
Exactly, he was the muscle man, and that's what a heavyweight champion back then. When Sonny Liston retired, he retired with almost nothing. I remember one of the last fights he had. The names are gonna escape me, but he on the card he was fighting Chuck Webner, and on the undercard I think there was a guy named Roy Williams who was Sonny Liston's sparring partner, who was fighting. I think it was a white guy. I think it might have been Jerry Quarry. Anyway, Jerry Quarry won, and Sonny Liston bet his purse of $3,000 that his stablemate Roy Williams was going to win the fight, and Liston was broke after that. Las Vegas took him in, and people say that he had enemies with the mob, and there's so many stories, there's so many documentaries, but that's a real interesting story, the life and death of Sonny Liston, man.
I think you know what happened to him. I think basically he kind of crossed the mob, and they ended his life. And with the Muhammad Ali's fight, the second fight, I think he honestly took a dive. I think the mob probably bet a lot of money on it, and you know what I mean. So I wouldn't put it past that. Then you know what I mean. I think he took a dive on that one, really.
I'll tell you, Mo, you watch some documentaries, you'll never get tired. There's so many different opinions on that, and there's so many different ones that make so much sense, man. You can form your own opinion, but man, there's a lot of facts to really be learned about that.
A lot of people are saying like his wife. A lot of the haters, the ones I'm talking about, they're still around today. Like they saying like his wife killed him, but I don't believe that, man. I don't believe his wife did it to him, man. I can't believe that unless he was forced to do it.
I mean, it's a needle in his arm. It's like, you got to catch him while he's in his sleep, but as soon as you get pricked, you wake up. But depends on what position you in. Like, was you laying down? Was you struggling to move? They didn't know. Shit on your fingernails. My whole thing is this. It's like, if I think it had to do something with after he stopped boxing the way he went like that. It has to do something with that because they could have been got him. They could have been got him between the last Muhammad Ali fight and the end of his career, because that right there is probably like what, 2 years at least, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years in between. They had time to get this dude, but was it at the end of his career when he said he's not going to cheat no more, when his conscience getting to him and he's not going to work for him no more? And then he fights Chuck Webner, and makes him quit and makes the mob lose all their money. Then years later they get him. I don't know.
Well, here's my theory on how Sonny Liston died. I think he screwed over people in Vegas. He was a habitual gambler. He owed a lot of money, and he wasn't making a lot of money. I think the mob set him up. They took him out for a day. He was buddies with him. They took him back to his house, partied around over there. Sonny, they slipped him a Mickey. Sonny passed out. They stuck a needle in his arm, shot a big dose of heroin in there, cleaned the house up, made it look like he was in bed and overdosed. And back then there were no blood tests. They didn't question things that happened. They find a black guy like Sonny Liston.
No DNA.
No, nothing like that. They find a black guy like Sonny Liston laying in bed with a needle in his arm. The book is closed, man. It's an open and shut case, but it's not an open and shut case. You study you watch documentaries about that. You listen to the people who are still alive who will tell you stories about that, and it's so interesting, Mo. It's so much a part of boxing history, man.
Look, Tyrone. Back in those days, motherfuckers knew when you was on drugs. People just minded their fucking business. You know what I'm saying? People knew who was on drugs. Everybody knew Sugar was on drugs. Everybody knew Sugar Ray Leonard was on drugs. Everybody knew. Everybody knew Mike was on drugs. Everybody know these guys. Everybody know when these guys on drugs. Now, does
You could
anybody
tell the behavior. You could
No,
tell
it's
the
not
behavior.
they can see it. They can see it. They can see him. They can see it. They know the dope man.
Exactly.
Okay.
One look in the eye, and it's like, man, I told you, I thought you were, it's
They all got
Mike
the same
Tyson,
dope
you can
man.
clearly
it's
see.
a
Mike
no
Tyson,
brainer.
you
It's
can
a no
clearly see.
brainer.
Mike Tyson could clearly see. He was he's an ex-user. Easy, you can see that.
No, you
I
don't
don't know
have
if you guys
to.
can see that.
He was doing cocaine with everybody else. They got the same dope man.
No, but I'm saying like you can tell from someone's face, when they talk, the behavior. Because I grew up like where I live, yeah, like there was a lot of drug users, and I used to see the faces. Like I used to see normal people, and then when they start using drugs, their face change, man. The way they talk change, like you know what I
Nah,
mean. It's
that
just
ain't.
everything.
That's
The
years of
demeanor.
that takes a cocaine and crack, man. That's years. That's not like it's not overnight. That's not like a couple of that's not 5 years. That's more than 5 years of using to get you like that. Especially when you could get it like steadily like that. Like Mike could have got it. Like Amy Winehouse, she probably been doing that shit since she was like 18, 17 years old.
Amy Winehouse, she was drinking, she was taking drugs, she was doing the law.
She probably
She was
was
doing the
doing that
law.
since she was in high school.
Well, let me tell you what I saw, man. I saw these guys come into the gym, and they were trying to get themselves real healthy, bodybuilding, nutrition. They were going the whole route. And then when you got yourself as fit as you can get and as clean as you can get, you start looking at the supplements, and then they get into doing the supplements, and then the steroids started. But even after that, there was a lot of pain with lifting, and they get into taking pain medication for the joints. Even when you in the steroid circle, there was a mail order house where you ordered. It was even kind of legal at the time. There was a gray area, so you ordered steroids, and they sent you this stuff called Nubane for pain, and it was an opiate, a synthesized opiate, and these bodybuilders are shooting it up just like they would do steroids after a workout, and it eventually I saw them go from pills to this Nubane, and when they couldn't get that, they were addicted to heroin. And I saw dozens of them who would never even think of smoking a cigarette, who were hardcore heroin addicts, and people just accepted it. That's the way it was. They worked out, they went in their own worlds, and athletes are so susceptible to the addiction process, and that goes into boxing, that goes into football, football big time, man, big time.
Yeah.
And they're cracking down on that now. They're putting the doctors in jail for prescribing these painkillers, man.
I forgot about that. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, they sure is now.
Dude, they destroyed a generation, man. Not just lives, but a whole generation. Because once you get hooked on that, it does nothing matters but your next fix. You get
The thing is though, drugs, yeah, like especially crack and heroin, like once you take that, once you take one hit, the feeling that they get, yeah, like they explain it like they want to have it again, but they'll never get that feeling. They're gonna keep taking it and taking it and taking it, but they'll never get that feeling.
Well,
it's
what
crazy,
I was
man.
told, what I mean, I know people that did crack, and they didn't get addicted, but a lot of people got addicted based off of kept going back. You keep going back. Like you don't. It's like you want to party, you want to have fun. This is a good party drug, and you keep coming back, and now your body needs it all of a sudden. Some people, yeah, once. I know people in my family that smoked that shit, and they just said, yeah, I tried it, but I didn't get addicted. Like,
I think the personalities are a different thing, because I work with recovering addicts, and I've seen them relapse and go back again and go back again until they get.
You ever smoked crack, Bruce?
Yeah, I've smoked crack before.
So,
and I didn't like it. I smoked. See, there was one year in my life that I did a lot of cocaine back. It was 1978.
He remember the year and time.
Oh yeah, because it was
at 1 o'clock.
It was the blizzard of '78 that year. The snow was like 8 feet high. Like I've never seen a year like that before. But anyway, I did cocaine for a year, and I just never. I looked at it. I looked at what it was doing to my life. I threw it away. And a couple of years later, crack hit the streets. And I'm telling these people, yeah, fuck, this will fucking ruin marriages. Because when I did cocaine, it was the cool thing. The people with money were doing it. It was like, you did it at the clubs. You went to New York City. You went to these Studio 54 and these crazy places, and cocaine was the cool thing. But then I started seeing marriages fall apart. I started seeing these people 35 years old having heart attacks. Beautiful looking girls looking like rags in 2 years. And I saw like a coke. I said, man, this fucking stuff this is not like marijuana. This is a fucking drug. And I put it down. I never had the urge to go back, because after a while, it doesn't even make you feel good. It kind of like ties you to it makes you stay in your house. You don't want to go out and socialize. I just wanted to do the coke and listen to the music, and that was no life. And if it was fuck that, man, I never went back to it. I haven't touched it in 40 years. But in the meantime, crack cocaine came around, and I saw these people doing it, and I'm trying to tell them, man, it's worse. It's just as bad. And I saw these crackheads lose their teeth and lose their money, and you couldn't tell them anything. And they have to be, rehabilitation. It works, but it's like you said, you can do it once and you can walk away from it. But there are other people that have that inherent disease of addiction where they do it once and they can't walk away from it. And you have to break that cycle. You have to break that cycle of addiction. It's not just stopping the drug, but it's a psychological thing. It's a physical thing. And, I'm grateful that I'm not fighting that. I haven't been fighting that for years now. I can't even tell you how many years. I smoke weed right now. That's the only thing that I do that's mind altering, and I do that because I enjoy it, first of all. But I have arthritis, and my doctor told me that would work. It does work. I was on opiate medication for many years. That didn't work. I got off that, and I'm a dull person now, but I I enjoy life, and I still work with occasional people. I get phone calls from people that are in recovery who have problems. I told them when I work with them, call me anytime, 24 hours a day. We can talk it through, and it is, sometimes it's a one day at a time struggle, and there it's a whole recovery system, and it's kind of a lifelong process. But to answer your question, some people can do it and walk away from it, and other people, man, they do it once and they're opening up the doors of hell.
But this is my opinion. I think they need to legalize weed in sports, man. I think they do, because fighters can literally take, like, if your doctor, if you really do need this pain medication, you could be boxing in the ring with that pain medication.
I don't know, man. Once it gets to the point, because with me, it's the arthritis from doing heavy lifting, where I have no cartilage in my joints, where it's bone on bone, and it doesn't matter how medicated you got me. I could never box, even if I was in my prime. Well, with the condition of my arthritis. So
Yeah.
if you have to mask the pain with medication, you need surgery or something. But
But what I'm saying is better alternative than taking the opiate.
oh yeah. There's definitely way better alternatives than the opiate, and if it works, some people who have cancer, third stage, fourth stage cancer, they have to use that. But it was to the point a few years ago where doctors were prescribing opiates. Like when OxyContin came around, man, everybody I knew had OxyContin, and they're saying, man, you can take these things and crush them up and snort them up, and
Yeah.
what a buzz you get. It was an epidemic in my state. And it went back to the athletes and the bodybuilders. They were right there in the boxes, man. They're in pain for what they do and what we do. Not to mention the people who they were prescribing it for, who had cancer, or who had amputated joints, who weren't never healed properly. But anyway, it was a total epidemic, and athletes included. But a boxer can't box when he's stoned. I mean, that's if he's in pain and he has to medicate that, he doesn't belong in the ring. You have to be 100% clear-eyed and ready to go. So, I got to debate that point.
Yeah, I mean, nah, but I think it's better than the opiate, and I think it's better than having to take all these fucking muscle relaxers and shit like that, and the side effects with some of this stuff. You got if you skip a meal, you're fucked. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah,
Uh,
man. No, dude, I've been smoking weed for 50 years, and
so you just
it's
switched the strain now.
exactly. I got lucky and I found a strain that works for my arthritis and it works for my wife because I thought it was in my head and I asked her and she's like, yeah, wow, this is, and so we stick with that. I enjoy being buzzed all the time, man. I don't work anymore. I'm retired. We're in the middle of a pandemic. I'd be bored out of my life if I was sitting here straight, man. I like it's my hobby. I've been smoking weed since 1969, man, and I don't hurt anybody with it. I enjoy it. The only thing that hurts is my wallet, but that's a whole nother show, man.
I know, man, because some of those prices, some of them are fair, some of them are ridiculous, and some of them are just like, come on, bro, really? Like, then it depends, like, because you buy the ones in the baggies, that come from the dispensary or whatever, you get about like maybe if you roll big blunts, you're gonna get two. If you roll, you could probably roll like 3 or 4 skinnies out of it. But you know,
Oh, it's changed so much throughout the years, man. When I first started smoking, it was like this Mexican
dirt weed.
green. Yeah, it was. You buy it in a brick. These
Yeah.
guys used to go and get pounds of it for $100 and sell a handful of it for like $10 in a bag, and it was garbage. I never really even thought that I got high until the 70s came around, and then you had people coming back from Vietnam with these Thai sticks.
Yeah.
You had this Panama Red and this Acapulco Gold, and this stuff that people talk about like it's legendary and it's like it's a myth, but it really happened, and that stuff, man, would pretty much paralyze the normal pot smoker. They had like hash oil and Lebanese temple balls and Moroccan keef. You had pretty much the world at your disposal, and it was just a relaxing time. And if you stayed away from the hard drugs at the time, which LSD was around and stuff like that, but those were nothing compared to today, where you got the crack and the heroin. This is what ruined, what gave recreational drugs a bad name, because it was soft back then.
Do you ever?
And
So how was? I mean, people were saying like LSD was the shit back then, though.
I'll
Like,
tell you my experiences with LSD, because I'll answer all your questions. I don't give a fuck, really, man. But I did LSD when I was 18 years old on my birthday, the first time, and I called up my parents. I said, hey, I'm going to stay out. It's my birthday, and they're like, no, you can't stay out tonight. Where are you? Well, first of all, they wanted to know where I was. I was at a payphone, so I gave them the payphone number, and they said, we're going to call you back. The payphone rang a few minutes later. The girl I was with answered it and said, oh, he went out for cigarettes. And they said, well, you tell him to come home when he gets there. So anyway, I went home, and the acid kicked in about 2 hours after I got home. And I thought I was literally losing my mind. I thought I was going to have to wake up my parents and say, Dad, get me to the hospital. I think I'm having a nervous breakdown. I'm losing my mind. Anyway, I hallucinated. I watched my clock, like my digital clock, look like a bunch of snakes going back and forth. But anyway, I survived that. And the next morning, I said, hey, man, that was a bad trip. I never want to do that again. And people said, nah, you do it again, but you got to understand, you control it. Don't let it control you. And I did LSD a few more times after that, and it was always fun because I knew it wasn't real, and it was going to wear away. And it was, like I said, it was a soft drug. You had a community of people together. It was fun. It was, music playing, joints going on. It was a real time. It was like a happening, as they used to say. But that's, That's all. That all
But
changed.
nobody got addicted to it.
No. It wasn't physically addicting, but some people got crazy and did it too much, and they ended up getting burnt out. And I don't even know whatever happened to them. But it was a thing that some people, they reserved it for going to.
Disappeared.
Yeah, who knows where they went? But I've seen some crazy things. I've seen people put. They had this stuff called window pane acid, and it was on a real thin film, and it was only about the size of the corner of a postage stamp, a real small corner, and you'd put it on your tongue. And I saw people put this in their eye, and get instantly high within 10 seconds, 20 seconds. They were tripping their brains out. And usually when you do LSD, it takes 3 to 4 hours for it to peak. And it's a crazy drug. It's burned a lot of people out, and it's an experience. Like I said, it was an experience, and I used to enjoy drugs back then. It was just something to do, and all my friends were doing it. And like I was saying before, they were soft drugs. They were pretty harmless. A little weed, a little acid, man. And that was as strong as it got until the cocaine came in the late '70s, and that's when I saw the skull and bones appear, and it was bad times touching this stuff, and pills came around, and people just went overboard, and I saw a lot of lives get destroyed. I was lucky to jump off that train before it crashed.
He said, "See y'all later. I'm out." Like I'm in my mind, I'm thinking about a real train, and you jumping out feet first, and everybody's like, "Hey, where you going, my friend?"
No different, bro. No different, man.
Hey, my
Just
friend,
like
come
that.
back.
Oh yeah, man.
Oh shit,
dude. I have seen the city before it actually wakes up in the morning, where the junkies come out and go to get their dope before the garbage collectors even come around. And it's the same people in the same cars, and the cops are letting you go because they're paid off. It's totally insane, and this shit is too crazy to make up. It should be a movie, but you can't make shit like this stuff up, man. I have seen the craziest shit happen, man. All for the drugs, all for that wake up dose of heroin, because every junkie needs that. There's not one junkie alive who doesn't need to have that wake up dose, and very few save it from the night before. So between 5 o'clock in the morning and 8 o'clock in the morning is the hardest time for heroin to be sold in the city.
they said they needed they dope.
Dude, it's fucking nuts. It's nuts. And now it's violent. Now it's not it's no game out there. You fuck around with somebody, look at them the wrong way, and bullets fly. So it's a fucked up time. I have I have no idea what's going on out there. I can only imagine, and I hear stories, but it's not. You don't even have to go out to get it anymore, because it's in the suburbs, man. Heroin is an epidemic in this country right now.
Yeah, but there's only one way it's getting here.
Absolutely, but it is getting here, and it's getting here, and it's being distributed throughout. It knows no racial bounds. It knows no economic bounds. It's everywhere, and these kids, they need a fix. They go in mommy's pocketbook, they take out money, and then it gets worse, and then crime begins. And I've seen these kids, beautiful young kids, man. They used to shovel my walk in the winter, and they got hooked on drugs. And the last time I saw them, I heard they were doing 3 years. A neighbor of mine is a sheriff at a courtroom, and she told me, "Oh yeah, I can't believe I saw him in there, and what's become of him?" Because it's ruined a generation, man. It's really ruined a generation. And drugs right now are so taboo, and they're so bad that I am so anti-drug. But yeah, I smoke my weed, and I live in my own world like that. But man, I can just tell you from experience to stay away from the other shit.
I'm about to go get some right now. I'm
Yo,
joking.
yo.
Dude,
I'm
love-
about to
love
fall
my
asleep,
weed.
man. I'm dipping here. I'm
All right.
dipping.
Yeah.
bro.
Well,
Yeah, let's all get up out of-
I've been on here talking
Well,
too much too, man.
Hey, get your last words. I gotta get something to eat because I gotta get to work in the morning. And
We been on, yeah. We chopped it up quite good today, man.
well,
You know,
y'all
I
kind of
mean,
came late too, so I think
we
I was
we
already on an hour and some change before y'all
we,
came.
we set the walls. We set the wall straight anyway. You know, I think I came on when you was like 40 minutes into the show. I don't know. I'm not. I'm
We
so
talk
sure,
about
but
sex, boxing, drugs,
Hey,
and money.
man.
you know, what I mean, it's
You
been a
know
good
what
show.
I'm
We
all
should do
about,
this more
bro.
often, man.
I know.
We
Hey,
should do this more often.
I'm gonna get up out of here, and yeah, whenever time anybody goes live, just hit me up.
Hey,
All
dude,
right.
Yeah, for
it's
sure,
been a
man.
pleasure to see both of you guys, and I'll talk to you later. God bless both of you.
All right,
For
Bruce,
sure,
man,
man.
you get up there and warm that bit up.
All right, take it
I'm
easy,
gonna have to
Bruce.
wake that up now. Warm it up
Take it easy,
myself.
Bruce. I'm gonna
Bye.
see if anyone posted any video to support them, and then I'm gonna go bed after that, man.
I'm gonna go. I think I'm gonna go see Will. I'll see you later, man.
All right, y'all.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Peace, bro. All right.